Up everybody, Rod J back again here on YouTube and trying to get my camera adjusted right. I'm actually up in Toledo, Ohio, and I'm actually at Cloister Brewing Company. They are located, I believe, here downtown Toledo. I'm going to actually check out a few of their beers, figure why not do a YouTube live video while doing it. So I ordered the first flight of beers in, and the first one I actually have here is the Zaki Oktoberfest. And then I also ordered the Proce Brut IPA. So that will be my first Brut IPA to finally get a chance to try. I also have the Chain Dog, which is the Belgian Strong Ale, the Isildur of Toledo, which is a Vienna Lager, and I also ordered the Mccool, which is a nice Irish Stout. So first beer up I'm actually looking at is the Cask Isildur of Toledo. It is a Vienna Lager. You can see it right here, 5.3% ABV. Nice aroma on the lager itself. Kind of get that sweetness from the malt you're accustomed to, a little bit of that breadiness. Nice aromatic exposure behind it. So let's check the taste. Nice crisp beer, nice relaxing feel to it. Good thing about a nice Vienna Lager, it does offer that nice refreshing quality. Cheers, Craig, good to see you, brother. And I'm trying to keep up on this YouTube live because I post comments here or there, so if I miss anybody, I do apologize, but it just popped up with Craig, who is with Kent Beer Reviews, of course, over in the UK. Make sure you check him out on his channel as well. I will say this one does provide a nice little mouthfeel behind it. Does get off the tongue nicely, getting a lot of good action in the cheek area. A nice one to really enjoy, especially like on a warmer type day. You can really kick back and just chill with this one. Goes down very easy, very simple. You get a little bit of that malt graininess in the mouth as well from the malts that were used here. Definitely using a little bit more of those darker type malts, which you can pick up on that color, but you also get that in the taste. I like the crisp backing of the beer. It really goes down very easily, which I like. And leaves a really good duration behind it. So definitely a nice one to check out. Again, this one is the Isildur of Toledo. And cheers, Craig. And a Vienna Lager. So if you like a Vienna Lager, this is a nice one they actually have here at Cloister Brewing. And one I would definitely recommend that goes up there with some of the other Vienna Lagers I actually have had. I have to figure out, because I'm using my phone here now, so I'll have to put my Untapped stuff in when I'm done here, but very decent one. In fact, I probably need to note that somewhere here. I don't know if I brought my notebook with me or not. Nope, did not. Of course, I didn't bring it. Wouldn't be something I would need, but definitely a nice one to enjoy. As far as what I would look at this probably in my Untapped rating, I would definitely put that probably as a nice 3.75. Very solid, represents the style very nicely. Pretty good personal pleasure with that one. So sliding off of that one, I'm now going to take a look at the second one. And the second one here, which is of course the style I do enjoy. This is the Chained Dog. Oh, cool, nice, Craig. Great to hear the picture quality is coming in good. The Chain Dog is a Belgian strong ale. Now, you know I like my Belgians, so I'm looking forward to trying this one. This one comes in at 9.3% ABV, so a little bit more of a bigger hitter, but for me, it's kind of like I'm used to playing in that playground, so I do like the ABV at that level. On the nose, get a little bit of that Belgian type feel in the background, but not coming out as much as I would expect it to. Although I do pick up kind of that Belgian type notes where you have like the clove type, coriander type feel of a Belgian ale. Very smooth though. Getting a nice feel of the coriander in the taste. Getting a nice feel of the malts in the taste. Nice stickiness of the beer. Hangs really well in the throat area. Really feel it popping in the cheek area just from the first sip alone. It really sticks nicely. Very decent. Nice representation of the style. A little bit of a scratchiness as it goes down the throat. What's up, Joe? Don't go away. I missed your message. Oh, wait a minute. I might have had it here. Let me take a look. Chat viewing options. All right, there we go. I fixed it there. What's up, Rod? Just got back from the dentist. Perfect timing, brother. Hi, Craig. Hey, Joe. What's going on, man? Yeah, so up here in Toledo, decided to come under Black Cloister Brewing and decided to shoot a video to get uploaded. So I'm actually now drinking. Oh, by the way, I hope everything went well at the dentist. You know, always want to come out of there feeling good and not having to get anything pulled or cavities filled or anything along those lines. But this is the Chained Dog Belgian Strong Ale that I'm trying here. I just went through one from Black Cloister that was their Isildur of Toledo, which is their Vienna Lager. So digging this one here. You know I like the Belgian ales, and this one is a good representation of the style. It's got a nice aftertaste of the flavor. Really sticks around nicely with a pretty good duration. Not overly done. Some of these Belgian style ales you'll find are overly done. And hey, what's up, Earth? This one actually does not have that. It hangs well. The flavors are nice on it. You're not feeling an overabundance of clove or coriander in the Belgian type feel. So very decent on this one here. I'm trying to wish these comments would just stay up there, but they disappear. And Joe had a feeling bothering him a bit, so they adjusted the bite and gave me. Oh, cool! I didn't have prescription mouthwash. That's interesting. Not heard of that before. I guess anything can be a prescription nowadays. I tell you, ever since I had my tooth pulled, no problems at all there. I was worried about maybe the teeth shifting or anything like that, but everything's been good. So. Dentist, not always fun. I gotta go in for my next checkup at some point here too. I've been kind of putting it off, but probably get that done in the next few weeks. Do not want to skip your dental care. Nobody wants to be that toothless guy at the bar. But as far as this Belgian one, I would definitely give this one a 4 out of 5. Very solid. I gotta remember these numbers in my head too when I put it on Untapped here in a bit. But drinking and remembering numbers, not always the best matchup. Not easy to remember everything. So. That being said, a very nice brew. And this is just the first flight. So I got some time to kill. I'll probably do a second flight. My hotel's like a 15-minute walk, so not too bad at all. I can easily come in here. Came in early. They open up here on Fridays and Saturdays at 11:30. I think it's later during the week. So got in here now. Most people are at work. Kind of nice, so I can just kind of spread out, do my thing, not worry about, being too over, talking too much, whatever, having people all around and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool here. Let me see. So this next one is the Ziki Zaki Oktoberfest. So 5% ABV. Take a look at that. It's got that nice copper color that you would expect from a Marzahn Oktoberfest beer. And for all you guys out there celebrating, happy Oktoberfest, by the way. So they kicked off the festival in Cincinnati today. And I've not been told any differently, but I know at one point it was the second biggest Oktoberfest festival outside of Munich. And I have not been to Oktoberfest Cincinnati. So tomorrow or Sunday, I do plan to attend. I do plan to try to get some video, upload the festival taking place there. When I left to come out of town yesterday, we're setting everything up. So hopefully with the weather being good, I'll get some nice video and share some of the Oktoberfest festivities from Cincinnati with you guys as well. But let's take a look at this Oktoberfest, which also comes in at 5% ABV. Oh, that's pretty smooth. Now, I will say Oktoberfest beers aren't always my favorite type of beer, the Marzahn styles. I do more and more, but they're not always my favorite ones. I picked up a liking on a few. This one does have a nice smoothness to it. You do get a nice malty feel out of it. Does have a nice presence of the beer. I feel like you have a little bit of a tinge of a syrupy type feel, but mouth-wise, you get a nice bite from the Oktoberfest beer here. Again, it's one that's pretty solidly put together. It's not too thin, which I like. I can feel it not just on the tongue, but I can feel it in the cheeks as well. Goes down in the back end really smooth, a nice break from that initial to the finish. Nice body on it, pretty light and refreshing. You can sit here and easily drink a few of these during the a warmer day or at the Oktoberfest festivals. Nice little popping of the carbonation on the tongue, so you have that in play as well. Definitely gets your mouth dancing a little bit. So one of the smoother Oktoberfest beers that I've had out there, and I'm looking forward to also trying the Sierra Nevada one I have at home because they're doing the Westonfiner. So that was one I was kind of pumped up to try. So I'll get that review probably done over the next week or so. A few other ones, but this one definitely does deliver. Again, I'm at Black Cloister Brewing Company that is here in Cincinnati, in Toledo, Ohio. Beer must be kicking in a little bit. So first time getting out to check these guys out. They were actually the closest brewery to my hotel, which made a nice 15-minute walk. Got a chance to come out here. I do have Mommy Bay around here as well, so I may try to get over there depending on how many beers I drink here. Chances are I'm only going to get a chance to go to this one brewery or maybe that one because I do have to head back early tomorrow morning. So we'll see how it all plays out. But if you're up in the Toledo area, this is not a bad brewery to definitely try out so far in the first few beers I've had. I've had another one at the hotel, which is their Hellas Angel, which is their lager, which is actually a nice, crisp, refreshing lager as well. So I probably won't get that on the flight here. But this was my first introduction to the brewery as well. But a nice Oktoberfest, and go ahead and put that one down there probably for about a 3.75 as well. Take a look at the comments here real quick. I hope my finger's not pointing you in the eye, but I'm trying to see what's there. Joe said that I stopped at a bottle shop and grabbed some beer at all. Not yet. I'm hoping to grab some beer tomorrow on the way back if I see some places here. Where I'm at downtown hasn't been as much. Welcome, Jaded. Thanks for checking out the stream. Appreciate it, brother. And if I can find some other the local beer shops for a while, I'm walking around downtown around here. May pick up some few things as well. Would love to get some stuff back from up in this area too, just because we don't get all the distribution from up here. So the next beer I'm going to take a look at is number 4. And this is actually the Mccool. Now this is their Irish Stout. Now I actually got just the CO2 version. They do have it on nitro here. I just went ahead and got this one because this is just nice and easy. You know, I know the difference between the nitro and the non-nitro where you're gonna have that creaminess in play. So I just went ahead and got this one as part of the flight. It's not gonna really change the flavor profile or not. It's just gonna change the texture a little bit. But nice aroma on it. You get nice notes of the malts. Definitely pick up a little bit of that roastiness in there as well. It's got a nice little quality, very aromatic. Get a little bit of a chocolate feel in there as it goes down on the back end. It does have a little bit of a thinness in there as well. But again, it is one that pops with flavor. And I will say, even though it has a little bit of thinness, it's not like the thinness that I get on some of the other ones. For instance, the Guinness Draft or some of the Guinness versions. They're a little bit more thin for what I would consider I would want to have. This one isn't as thin as that. It has a little bit more of a nice body to it. It's not as watery as some of those. Really nicely put together as well. Nice carbonation on it. You feel those bubbles working on the tongue. Get a nice little bit of cheek action in place where I have the flavors kicking around some. Leaving a nice duration behind as well. You can see here some of the lacing taking place too. Very nice put together Irish Stout. That chocolate you get in there, kind of like that baker's type chocolate feel. Has a nice little, I wouldn't say almost like a numbing feel in the mouth, but it has like that nice feel of the quality of the beer where it's got a lot of the mouth tingling nicely. I'm actually digging this one here. Gotta keep reaching down here to check comments. because my comment, I don't know why they just want to keep the comments up here all the time. Craig says not Paul's thinness. No, not Paul's thinness, right? So Paul would not tolerate that at all. And Earth says mini tulip. Yeah, these are actually like a little mini tulip glass. I kind of like the little taster glass. That's one thing I don't have in my glass collection at home is some of the taster type glasses. I did see some places that do offer those. Thought about picking some up. It's got that nice little taster feel as well. It's kind of nice. I mean, I haven't done the, outside of the weekend, right? During the week, you don't do a lot of day drinking nowadays because we're all at work. So it's kind of nice to take a day off and do some day drinking. I'll give you that for sure. Very decent brew. So as far as the Mccool, I do like that presence of the chocolate of the malt. So I'd actually throw this one up here also at about a 3.75. I think it's nice. Oh, it's always nice when you find a nice Irish stout, and this one actually does deliver again. I like it because it doesn't have the thinness that some of the other ones actually do have. It's a little bit better than that. So very nice beer.
That guy that just walked by the way, is your brewer.
Oh, was that the brewer? Okay. Does he brew all the beers?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. How far is your guys' distribution?
Right now, just Ohio.
Just Ohio? Like, you don't get to Cincinnati as much, though.
We did, but we will again.
Okay.
Very soon. Very, very
I had to give you one of my cards so when you guys get down there. Actually, blog and stuff. That's what I'm actually doing now. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. If you want to come say hi, I'm on YouTube right now, and people are like checking in, watching the video. So,
So yeah, his name's Clint. So if he walks by again, you're welcome to grab him.
oh, definitely. Thank you.
Sure.
So I was just talking to one of the beer tenders here, and one of the gentlemen that walked by was actually the main brewer here. So hopefully we'll get him to pop over here too when he comes back, and maybe get a chance to talk with him a little bit. Oh, so this one I'm drinking now is the Proce Brut IPA. So okay, I have not had a Brut IPA yet. So looking forward to checking what this one actually does, how this actually pans out. Thank you, Trish. It's a nice Friday, but you guys do enough on Craft Beer Pours. There's days I wish I had for you and Brandon as well. So you guys do a lot of good stuff. This is the Proce Brut IPA, 6% ABV. I have not had a Brut IPA as of yet, so looking forward to checking this out. It's got your typical IPA type aroma. It's getting tropical, I'm getting citrus. Getting a nice amount of the flavor coming out. You're kind of associated with kind of your orange, your tangerine, things along those lines. A little bit of that mustiness, has a nice resiny feel as well, so you're getting that quality. Taste-wise, flavors a little bit more subdued, not as much bite on the back end. You still have the tropical feel and the citrus feel. You still get a little bit of that resiny feel in the taste and everything as well, but you don't have as much of the hop bitterness that takes place, which is kind of interesting. It's almost like maybe it's subdued a little bit in this type of version of the IPA. So that is something a little bit more unique that I haven't had before. Clint? Hey, how you doing, Rod? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good. I'm actually just shooting a video here
Vlogging?
on YouTube and everything. Yeah, so I'm now up from Cincinnati, and I do beer reviews and stuff like that and everything.
Awesome.
So I
Thanks
came
for
in
coming
and, hey, thank you. Yeah, staying down at the Marriott and decided to walk up and see you guys. And I had one of your beers over there, the Hellas Lager, which was pretty good. And
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I decided to walk up
That's
and
kind of our
everything.
flagship.
Yeah. But you guys got some good brews here and stuff. I don't know if you want to pop in or anything, or if I don't know if you're doing right now. Say hi or whatever. They're like, who's he talking to? So this is Clint. Clint is like the main brewer here at Black Cloister Brewing. So this is great to get a chance to meet him as well. So trying to get some more exposure for you guys and everything.
Don't
And
sign them on anymore, dude.
yeah. So she said you guys used to get down to Cincinnati, I guess, but not right at this point. You're kind of more up here in northern Ohio as well.
I don't know how well we're blanketed down there, but that's where the distributor's from.
Okay, it's the Heidelberg you're dealing with, or
Cavalier.
Cavalier. Okay, yes,
Right,
Cavalier's down there as well too.
Right,
okay,
right, so
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the beers down there along those lines. Let me turn it this way. That way they can see, and I know I'm like just not talking to myself here. So you have the beers through Cavalier distributing throughout that area. Is there anywhere in particular that you know where they're distributing to, or is it kind of like you just let them kind of run their thing?
No, I'm not on the sales and marketing side. So
Okay.
I just make the beer and they pick it up. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to,
Okay.
figure that kind of stuff out, but I just don't. So
Sure. Yeah, I'll have to try to see if I can find out where some of your beers may be down there. 'Cause I know a couple of the guys that run some of the stores down there. It's like one of the guys that watches usually is J.O. from the Party Source, and they're like huge in Newport, Kentucky. But they get a lot of the Cincinnati stuff too.
Oh,
sometimes.
that's that big? Is that the big party store?
Yeah, right across the river.
Right,
Yeah.
That place is rad.
Yeah. So
That's whenever I'm down there, I always go over there and get a couple cases of whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Get the taste break there.
Well,
man.
J.O. see this, he'll love to hear that. Yeah, they have everything. It was funny. The Party Source, it used to be in Ohio because you guys had lower ABV volumes that we could do in Kentucky.
Right.
So people used to come over to the Party Source to get beer to bring back to Cincinnati. And the
Now it's
sheriff's
the other way around.
Right. The thing is, the sheriff's department used to sit on that bridge. Well, if you remember where Party Source is, there's a bridge that comes over into Kentucky.
Right.
And he would they said he had binoculars. He would watch people come to Party Source to catch their tags. And when they came back across, they'd pull them over for bootlegging.
Yeah,
that was it.
do that.
You know how to do that. Yeah, it was
yeah.
interesting, but now they don't do that as much because that guy's retired. They changed the laws and everything. But kind of interesting, that whole legacy with the Party Source. Like they come over there, they bring it back to Ohio, then they get busted coming across the river. So, but a lot of good stuff down there. I know in Cincinnati, one of the big places is like Cappy's. They do a Cappy Wine and Spirits. They do a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So if you guys are getting down there, definitely want to try to find you guys. I've been pleased with the beers I've had. So these are the 5 I went through thus far, and they've been all pretty decent, which is essentially the first 5 on the list here.
Sure.
And then I'm going to try some of the other ones down here. But you mentioned
they're all really solid.
Well, that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying on here. They've been pretty solid.
Not on a biased opinion. I enjoy them. So
Yeah, definitely. You're hearing it from the brewer right here, folks. So yeah, I've been saying the same thing about how solid they were. One of the things I mentioned, like the Finn Mccool,
Sure.
the Irish stout. Thing I find out about that style a lot of the times is I come across beers that are kind of just too thin and too watery. And you guys, where it had a little bit of thinness, it still had a great body and presence around it, that it was really solid, that you could easily sit back and enjoy it and really kick back and relax with it.
I mean, to be honest, it's not a true Irish stout.
It's not a true, not a true dry Irish or whatever. So what
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the malt constituents in it, it's not. I mean, a traditional Irish stout is just a base malt and usually some roasted barley.
Right.
We've got, there's chocolate, there's roasted, there's a couple different kinds. We got Pilsner malt, and then there's Canadian two-row. There's there's a couple different kinds of crystal malts in there,
Right.
Pils malt. So I mean, really, it's more of an American one.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, you get the honesty from the brewer. You gotta love that, people. You gotta love that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's nice because we have it available on Nitro and CO2 as well. So I mean, if you want like something more akin to like a Guinness, we offer it for Nitro, and so and that's doing pretty well for us.
Well, I mean, I picked up like the chocolate, I picked up the roasted type stuff, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit more. Maybe that's why I like them more than some of the ones like Guinness. For instance, I mentioned that can be a little thin, a little bit watery for me, unless it's like the foreign extra stout or it's the Antwerpen.
Precisely.
Yeah, the other ones are kind of a little more thin. The real ones. It's like, why does the rest of the world get these ones and we don't?
Not the one that's brewed just for the U.S.
Right. I thought we were the leader. We're supposed to get the foreign extra stout, but right. So unless you get one of the specialty packs, you don't usually get to pick those up.
Right.
But it's a great quality. I thought it was a great rendition of kind of that style, even if it wasn't true. It was a nice feel that you still got kind of those qualities from.
Yeah, it's like it's basically like it's got like the malt background of an American stout, but then we use English yeast and we use English hops. So it's kind of I guess it's the standard bastardized version of a foreign beer.
Okay, cool. That works too. Yeah. So, and then the one I had, the Chain Dog Belgian Strong Ale. So I'm a big Belgian fan, so I thought you guys did a real good rendition of that style as well, and the Belgian ale that you guys offered here too. I thought it was pretty solid.
It's definitely a good beer.
Yeah.
I've only been here for about 5 months, so that was a challenging beer to get done right. Actually, the first, I'm like maybe I'm a little too honest here, but
we love honesty.
The first batch that I brewed of that beer was not up to snuff, so I brewed the second one, which was spot on. Right. And instead of canning the first batch, you can't just we blended them together. Yeah. So and I'm happy that it came out the way it did, and we didn't have to throw anything down the drain. So
nice. Yeah, no, it came out well because I drink a lot of the Belgian ales from over in Belgium, and I get like imported and stuff. Right. So this one was a great rendition of it. And one thing I liked about it really was that it wasn't like an overkill with some of the flavoring. Like I'll get some that are the American style, and it'll be like an overkill, maybe a coriander or an overkill of some of the flavoring used in it. And this one was nicely done.
Oh yeah,
precise and not
that's simple. There's two types of malt and one type of hop, and then a Belgian yeast strain. So there's not a whole lot of weird stuff going on in that one that you'll see. Like some people just don't do Belgians well in America. Right, they don't. And they're not attenuated well. A lot of them are overly sweet, etc. Or you taste a lot of off flavors from the yeast not being properly pitched, just right amount. Right. Yeah. So
sometimes you get like overfilled the clove in there. It's like you guys are way overboard.
A lot of polyphenols. And I see a aldehyde and some other stuff. But it's pretty good. What are you drinking right now?
Right now, I'm drinking what's this number?
It's a Brut.
Brut. This is. I'm turning this way. I keep my camera get turned. This is the first Brut IPA I've actually had, and it's kind of smooth. It's kind of different. Like I get all the qualities of the IPA, and I haven't had a Brut before, so I'm trying to relate it to anything. And the one thing I'll say is it's kind of almost like subdued down on the flavor. Like you're not getting the bite of the bitterness as much.
Right. Are you familiar with the style at all?
What is the first one I've had of the style?
So it's like a new style. It's kind of emerging out of the Bay Area. It's kind of it's like the new cool thing right now.
It's like their New England IPA answers, and they're saying
exactly. So there's an enzyme that we treat it with that breaks down a lot of the long chain sugars and makes the yeast consume more sugar. Okay. So are you familiar with what attenuation means?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it attenuates more. It's all the way down to 0. Okay. Some of them go past that. Okay. Yeah, and then in the 0.99, right. So it's got a real dry finish. Okay. And there are no hops added in the boil. So the trick of that is instead of just heat exchanging and going right into the fermenter, we run the wort through the heat exchanger back into the kettle to drop the temperature down to about 150, 140 degrees, and then we add our whirlpool hops and let that steep for 20 minutes before we heat exchange. And dropping that temperature down to that low, you don't isomerize any alpha acids, so you don't extract any of those bittering components. Okay. There is some discernible bitterness in that beer, but it's extremely low, and it's kind of like I can't really calculate it with the tools that I have. So I mean, I guesstimated it's below. It's anywhere between like 10 and 15 IBUs. And then it's hopped, dry hopped. The Whirlpool Hop Edition and the Dry Hop Edition are like up there like the weight of a double IPA. Right. So you get a lot of that flavor and then aroma, the really low to no bitterness, and a nice dry finish. And it's a pretty cool thing because I think a lot of people that are turned off from bitter beer and haven't really experienced a real hoppy beer because they're turned off by the bitterness, they can experience this beer and still get the flavor and the aroma, that everybody still enjoys too. So it's kind of like it's like you said, it's an answer to regular IPAs, New England IPAs, and that sort of thing.
People are gonna start chugging Brut IPAs now, probably online.
They call it Brut because it's like the champagne.
Yeah, right? Champagne, right? And I've had like the Brut type beers before, but just not on the IPA version. So I'm used to that flavor coming in. You'll get like some of the Brut saisons from overseas and stuff like that and everything. Yeah. So you're kind of used to like that kind of champagne bubble. Well, the thing I like about it,
and it's highly carbonated as well.
It's highly carbonated usually, right. So that usually happens. So, but this one is smooth. It goes down rather easily. You're getting all the qualities of an IPA, but you're just not getting really that bite on the end. So for some of those that are turned off by that, you now have the opportunity to enjoy this type of beer
Precisely.
and still get all the other quality you want out of it.
Idea, man.
It is a cool ass idea.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how many more breweries start latching on or bringing this stuff out as they come from it's coming from the West Coast now. It's kind of an answer to that New England type IPA.
Precisely.
Let me see if there's any. If you guys have any questions you want to ask Clint, please feel free as well. So, see if there's anything out there. Problem with the YouTube chat is like it pops up and it disappears. Now, Earth, he's actually out in San Diego, so I think he has some of the Brut IPAs swinging down his area as well. Yeah. But I'm telling you guys, if you guys haven't gotten the Brut IPA type style yet, definitely check it out if you do see it available. I think a lot of people are subbing and stuff like that are watching right now. Now, see, Trish asked, is it a new thing? Which it is. And a new style being introduced because, as you mentioned, and stuff that I've read, it came out of that Bay Area. So it kind of came out of an experiment by one of the brewers out there. They started running from that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. The enzyme's usually used for high gravity beers where you would have issues with attenuation.
Yeah.
And you end up with a really sweet beer. And then the guy was like, well, let's try this in an IPA.
Yeah.
So apparently he's been experimenting with using it in the fermenter, in the mash. And using different type of hops and stuff too.
Yeah. It says, she says, we're in Boston, haven't seen it yet. So it's still making that way out to the East Coast, and Trish is Mrs. Craft Beer Pour, so they have a channel that's very popular as well that they watch, and they do stuff about beer. It's coming from that West Coast to East, so sweeping through, right? So, I'm here in Ohio, in Toledo, and I'm acting, you guys all know that watch, I'm based down in Cincinnati, so I'm happy to see it's actually here. So next few months, maybe you'll see it out there on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a natural progression. It'll get there eventually. So.
It's like the New England IPA, everybody started making batches to try to match up with it, it seemed. Like everybody was kind of chasing that little carrot at the end of the stick, it seemed like a lot of breweries. So
not me.
Not all have done it. I've seen some that were more reluctant, that I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I kind of appreciate those that don't have to actually chase that, because if you're making good quality beer, you don't want to just force your hand on stuff. One of the breweries that you're probably familiar with down in Cincinnati that does good beer is Rheingeist, and they started making some of the other beers, and it's almost like you still get that IPA type. It's like, why don't you just focus on your key strengths, what you're doing, and they don't chase after some of the other stuff. And that's what I always appreciate about those that don't do that.
Yeah, trends are just trends.
Right.
You know what I mean? And eventually the candle burns out on a thing. I don't think they're necessarily going to do that for New England IPAs. I think those are going to stay.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily one of those individuals that likes to chase around trends and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not chasing the carrot.
Yeah.
We stick to what we know, and we try to.
And I think that's good for business.
Right.
One of the other brews we have down there, which is up here now, I guess, for distribution, Urban Artifact, they stick to wild and sours.
Yeah.
Everything is basically wild and sour. They don't chase the other stuff.
They make rad beers, man.
They
Get
do.
the pickle beer.
Yeah.
The pickle beers.
The people love the pickle. I just did their Milkman Stout, which was another one that was good. It was like, I forgot what was all in the Milkman, but it was really a smooth stout that they had done. It was kind of like a dessert type beer. They got one called, I think it's a Gadget that people are loving now too. So it's like, but they're staying true to themselves, which is great. You always stay true to yourself and let everything else fall where they may lie. Don't chase other things. So
there's plenty of market room for you to do what you're doing and keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? As long as it's unique. You don't got to be the be all everything brewery.
Right.
There are those people that do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe it works for them, but. Honestly, we don't really have the fermentation capacity to be chasing around all these trendy beers.
So let me ask you this. So while I've got you here, so what do you think right now is like kind of if there is any like a biggest challenge you may have in the brewing industry or what you're seeing out there? Anything that might be a challenge for you right now that?
I think just on my perspective, it's like educating all these new money beer drinkers, all these whale chasers. You know what I mean? A lot of these like younger guys that are just getting into craft beer that want to do the beer trades and want to do just chasing around trying to get these limited beer releases. I think they've really lost focus of what quality actually means. It doesn't mean just limited.
Right.
So that's one of the challenges I just see, like, you know, just with on the consumer side.
Right.
I don't know if necessarily that's what you were asking me, but yeah, I mean, I see the trend coming back to old world styles and classic styles because, I mean, if you just look at a lot of the real big guys that have been doing the super hoppy beers for years, and it's kind of like that's been their focus.
Right.
Like you can throw like Nick Floyd out there from Three Floyds, the Vinny Chilurzo at Russian River, the guy at Firestone Walker. A lot of these guys, they're like, man, I just want to make a good Pilsner now. You know what I mean? They're so burned out on this hop phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like, you know, things are going to come back around towards, you know, classic styles and just, you know, quality, not all this kind of like, you know, weird shit.
Yeah.
Kitchen sink beers and goofy ass fruit beers, which I enjoyed. I'm not saying I don't enjoy these things, but, you know, I think there is want beer to taste like beer. And
I think there is a call for tradition. You know, over the last few months, I've had a little bit more, like, say, like a Schwartz beer or a Rouse beer and some different other styles that were kind of the old school type beers, and there's an appreciation for them. And when we talk with a lot of the beer drinkers and stuff like that, there's people that like that kind of stuff. You know, Joe, who's one of the guys watching the Beer Patrol, he makes mention of, you know, how good it is, sees some of the craft breweries make some good lagers now.
Right.
You know, and like I had the Vienna Lager earlier, which was the Isildur of Toledo. Yeah, I feel like I got to like get myself worked up to say it rightly. So, but that was really a good Vienna Lager. Sit back and enjoy a nice malty type beer, something you can easily throw down rather easily. And having craft breweries get more involved in doing those kind of things is awesome. So everything has been more on the ale side. So I'd like to see some of that stuff come back. You know, down in Cincinnati, we have Bockfest every year, which is like in March. And most of them are really Bocks or lagers. And all these different breweries make all different type of Bocks, which are awesome. So people get to experience more of the lager type feel when that happens. Everything isn't just like a Pilsner. There's so many different styles that people aren't aware of that we have. Right now, we're in such a good golden period of beers. Like, we have so many different things that we can do. It's like when people branch out and follow their own ways and try different things, it makes it so cool to really sit back and enjoy. Way cool.
The variety spice of life, man. There's definitely something for everybody out there right now.
Yeah, it's like occasionally we get somebody to say, "Oh, there's just so many choices." They go to the store, like, that's a good thing. You can try different things. Remember, like in the '70s when it was just like 3 or 4 different ones, they're all the same style.
They're all the imports, and they're all skunked out and old, and then now you walk into a beer store and it's kind of like, which one am I going to grab? You know what I mean? And there's always something new when you go to the stores now.
Oh, it always is. So whenever I go, like when Joe had asked me earlier if I was going to get any Imperial when I was up here, because I usually like to bring some back and everything for the local breweries and stuff. And I'm like, I'm trying to hit a beer store or something along those lines. But my wife was always like, don't be in there all day. And it's like, I got to decide on what I want. There's a lot of stuff happening here, you know?
Especially when you're in a new area and you're in an area where those beers aren't necessarily getting out of that area. You're walking in a different market area, basically, and there's all these cool beers you've never even heard of. So you're like, man, I want to try them all.
Yeah, definitely, right? Like, when can I get there, right? What can I bring back? I mean, you know, a lot of the guys that watch the videos, like, I keep a pretty good sized beer cellar at home, and I've got so many beers in there. It's like, I want to take beers back, but I got to like basically find some higher ABV beers. We're not going to get to them in a bit. So you have to plan a lot of this stuff out with so many different things. But let me ask you this: with here in like Toledo, how do you guys see the beer scene? How are you guys doing up here? How is it?
Pretty well.
Competitive-wise, a lot of breweries work together. Is it kind of like?
I don't see there's any competition, honestly. You know what I mean? There's enough room for everybody's here. You know? With the amount of people that we have in the city, there's probably room for about 2 more small brew pubs. You know?
Okay.
We just had a couple new ones open in the there's a brewery in Planning that's actually going to be a couple streets over. A friend of mine, Alex, is opening a brewery. You know, there's a brewery in Perrysburg, which is a suburb outside Toledo. There's 2 breweries in Sylvania, which are, you know, one just opened. The other one's actually, I think this week was their 2-year anniversary. And another one inside the 5 just opened. Brandon Fields was the punt kicker, field goal kicker for the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
He retired, and he actually used to come and volunteer for me when I was still the head brewer over Maumee Bay in the production facility. So yeah, he opened a brewery. There's another brewery that just opened out just 1 county over, Twin Oaks. Dude, you got to get out there.
Yeah.
You want, like, beautiful brewery.
Yeah.
Beautiful brewery. I've never seen anything like it.
Really?
Keep that up here.
Okay.
You gotta go out to
Get out there? Okay.
I think it's Catawba, so it's Sandusky. Whatever. It's about 50 minutes east.
So 50 minutes, okay.
Yeah,
So in between here and Cleveland, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost halfway. So I feel like the beer scene's definitely on the up and up in Toledo.
Yeah.
Which is nice because for a long time it was just Maumee Bay.
Right.
And there's a great Black Swamp.
Yeah.
Their tap room's the one I was saying in Perrysburg. Their brewery's right down the street on Monroe here.
Yeah.
Everybody's making pretty good beer. Patron Saints just opened. I haven't really had much of their stuff, but there's all these. There's room for all these small guys opening. You know what I mean? And they all got their cheerleaders, and there's definitely not a competition. It's definitely a camaraderie between everybody. I'm still friends with everybody over at Maumee Bay, and I'm still friends with everybody else around Toledo. So doing their thing. So. It's definitely on the up and up. The beer festivals in the area are getting better.
Nice.
Okay. Ernest. Have you been over to Ernest?
I haven't been over to Ernest
Are you
yet.
going to go check them out?
I got to head back early tomorrow morning, but I'll make a trip to come back up here again.
Honestly, if you're going to pick one to go to, another one, if you got time, head over to Ernest. They're on Detroit Avenue. You can probably Uber over there and come back. But my friend Scott and Keith opened that up, and they're killing it. Yeah. They're all their beers. I mean, they're not like traditional style beers. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they're having fun and they're making killer beers.
Oh, that's awesome. So a lot of good stuff. I know one of my friends here that I actually interviewed over time and got to know was Chris Harris, who started Black Frog over
I totally forgot about Chris.
So Chris over in Holland, so he's killing it too.
He's killing the game over there too, man.
Yeah, I told him.
Beers.
I said I'm finally going to be up in your area, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out of town this week, so I didn't get a chance to hook up with him." But
he's out in Denver, probably.
Probably Great American Beer Fest. So but he's done some pretty good stuff and everything. He told me like a couple years ago he did a sweet potato beer, and he said it was like crazy, like people were going crazy over it. So that's nice because people are used to pumpkin. Flavors are a little similar, but to have them come out, that's the whole thing, which is a great thing when you have different ideas coming in. That's why I talk about sometimes diversification in the beer community. You're having different thoughts coming from different areas that people may not have seen out there. So it's great the success he's having there, because he went from his garage to now having the brewery, and he's really built up some good things in the name.
He was still just doing out of his house in his garage, man. So he's like he's like on his way to riches from rags, it's just a classic sort of story for, and he's one of the few African American brewers
that are out there.
So I mean, he's kind of like out there on the fringe with that. So
I was in Chicago a few weeks ago at Lagunitas, and I know a couple of people up there. So one of the guys I know, Kyle Cooney, he does stuff there at the brewery. He got me up there when I was out there, and we did some stuff, went around, but it was just interesting. I didn't really know the full story of Tony. Like I was telling guys, because I have some of the guys that watch that are also home brewers. Tony started with a 5-gallon kit, and then he started off the stove, ended up catching the stove on fire because of all this. When you brew on a stove, and I've brewed before, you have the overflow. And it gets salt and stuff gets into the thing, so it causes a kitchen fire. His wife's like, you can't brew here anymore. So they end up leaving, and they end up moving to another city, which was actually Lagunitas out in California. And he started brewing out there, basically started bootlegging a little bit, selling stuff that he was making, all kind of stuff. Well, they were based off a septic tank system. So a lot of people were draining their stuff into it when the septic tank ended up exploding. And then they're like, "Hey, you can't brew here anymore," So that's how he sliced, right?
Out of the kitchen.
But he stuck with it. He ends up going to Petaluma.
Yeah.
Has success. Gets the thing going with the brewery, stuff like that, and everything. Name's Lagunitas from the city he got ran out of, but just stuck with it enough to actually grow. And I tell people, if this is your dream, you have an opportunity to make that build. Still room to still grow out there. So I tell people that you're home brewing now, but if you want to make that into something, who knows? You might be the next Lagunitas out there. Yeah. So, and talking with them was totally a cool thing from some of the stuff, because one of the things I talked about them was, when I was talking to them, was a lot of people come back and they complain about them selling the Heineken. So we had a nice little discussion about that, and basically they're dealing with Heineken Europe, which isn't American, but this whole thing that they're still left alone. It's really a balance sheet play. And you know what? And it's getting them opened up in other markets. They're still staying. They're left alone. They're still making their beers. It's the whole thing, and that gets the whole thing too. Like with my view with some of the stuff that the Brewers Association does. Like I always going independent. I always say go local, go independent. You know, then my third thing is anything else that may come into play. That's fine.
Sure.
Not all your great local craft brewers are going to make good beer. So you can't always just say you're going to drink that all the time.
Yeah. That's the big thing with the new startups. I just whoever's open up, just do whatever you do, just make good beer.
Yeah, make good beer, right?
Good beer, man.
And with them, they got success out of it. They're not getting anything outside of them. Now they're getting play in overseas markets. They're expanding their European type. And it's so, because you've taken that doesn't mean you're definitely giving up on being an independent type brewer. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know what perspectives you may have on that when you see things like that happen.
I used to, when I'm playing fanboy on a brewery and then they sell out, that's just like, when the band or the DJ or whatever the group that I listen to musically, or underground.
A lot of people use Metallica. They'll say like Metallica or something like that.
On the radio, and I'm like, oh, they sold out. But here's the gig. If you're passionate about something and you start a business and you're able to drive it up to where you can cash out,
right,
and then you can maybe open up another one. Maybe why wouldn't you? If I open up a brewery and then Budweiser came up to me and wants to offer me tens of millions of dollars for my brewery, why wouldn't I let them have that?
Yeah.
And maybe do something different, or retire. I mean, it's one thing to be on the side of the fence where you're not that person,
right?
And you don't have that perspective. You're not them. I mean, so I can't like point my finger at them and be like, oh, that's messed up. They sold out to Heineken or they sold out to Budweiser, maybe InBev. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, like you say, people have different views on that check isn't shown with all the zeros in front of them either.
Right. Yeah. What would you do? If the check says jump, you're probably gonna jump.
Yeah. So we leave you alone. We just want to have you on our sheet as part of our assets. Well, you're gonna leave me alone.
I think the brewery acquisition thing it's not nothing new. Anything about history of brewing in America, it's not anything new.
Yeah.
It's never gonna go away.
Right. It's business. It's always business. So it's always going to be out there. But what do you think about, like, say, the craft beer label, so to speak?
And how that keeps getting
moved.
Manipulated by coach and coach.
Right. Because in my thing, I'm thinking, I think the craft beer thing is going to go away at some point, and they'll just be the independent or non-independent. Talking about where you're big.
Precisely.
So the whole thing, because I tell people, if you ask a guy on the Bud line, and he's making beer, he's going to tell you it's well crafted. So he's going to think in his mind it's crafted beer. Right. So it's kind of like, it's like a thing that should go away at some point. But I didn't know what your feelings were. You hear
they keep trying to blur the lines. For somebody like Jim Cook to be kind of like spearheading that thing. You got to go look back in history and realize that this is like one of the OGs in the craft beer movement.
Yeah.
So if he wants, he's staying independent.
Yeah.
Blurring the lines, adding more barrelage to say that I'm still a craft brewery.
Right.
I'm not necessarily against that. You don't have to be a small place to be a craft brewery.
Yeah.
Well,
the funny thing with Jim Cook though is, and of course, I drink 10. I got 4 same amount of beers I got to do reviews on at home, but that's where it gets in like the Craft Brewer Association a little bit. It's kind of like, well, you had this thing, you have these guidelines, you can't be more than 25% owned, you can't do more than certain millions of barrels. Well, it used to be 2 million barrels, but then you moved it to 6 million, so you can keep Boston Beer and Jim Cook.
Right.
So at some point, you've had some of your own, I wouldn't say like hypocrisy, but you kind of throw your own thing out there and say, okay, we're going to move it this time so we can keep them. It's kind of like, well, now you're basically fudging your own stuff too. So it's kind of how can you attack other people for what they're doing when you've actually moved the goalposts yourself.
Right.
And that's where I kind of get thrown a little bit in how they're handling things.
Yeah. All that politics stuff.
Yeah.
You
just want good beer.
At the end of the day, precisely. I just, are you making good beer still?
Yeah.
Is it... and then there's the craft versus crafty conversation and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's another one out there. I've done some posts on that.
An IPA from Budweiser, I'm probably not going to go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Well, it's like I tell people too. It's like people complain, like say Wicked Weed, right? So they got bought up by AB InBev. But here's the thing: if it wasn't for them getting bought some or having the Bud money put into it, I would have never saw them for my distribution.
Sure.
Because they weren't getting there. Right. It's like where you're located here in Ohio, other people aren't seeing you around the country.
Right.
So at the same point, you may hate them for doing that, but at the same point, now you're trying their beer. Right. So you can't have it both ways, kind of thing. So.
Right. You know, I when Goose Island finally got bought out like all the way by AB InBev, I'm like, I'm not drinking that anymore. I'm not going to drink Bourbon County Stout. You know, and then somebody sets a Bourbon County in front of me a couple months ago, and I'm like, yep, pour it. Because it's awesome. I mean, is it good? Is it good? I mean, are you drinking beer because of you know, your beliefs about what craft beer is, or do you drink beer because you like the way it tastes?
Right.
And for me, it really just
how you like it tastes.
It's, do I like it or not?
Yeah.
So you know, there's both sides of the argument. You know what I mean? And I'm not one to argue about any of it. Honestly, you know, do whatever the hell makes you happy.
Whatever makes you happy. If it's good beer, you like it, drink it, right?
Sure.
So, but yeah, it's funny you mentioned, like, we joke about that sometimes, like these people that get sometimes upset about buying out, but then you'll see those same people lining up for Bourbon County on Black Friday. Like, wait a minute, when you just upset about well, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. So
yeah, that line was drawn in the sand, and the tide came in and swept it away.
They're like, oh, you misunderstood what I was saying. Let me see if there's any other. If you guys have any other questions out there, let me know. I'm trying to get back to the chat here, see if anything. So Joe says, Clint gets it. Do you make good beer? If so, I'll buy it. If not, then I won't. Quality is quality, man. So Joe's definitely there with you as well. And let me see here. It's kind of a weird YouTube app where you don't leave everything up there. Hello to Keto tuning in. Trish says ESP, down to earth, honest, not by numbers, and supporting all others. These are the kind of brewers I love. So you said you're down to earth and everything, which is cool. Gonna scroll back up here. Earth says cheers to Clint for hanging out and dropping some info. And then Joe co-signed that with Earth and Trish. This is just great stuff. Nothing like impromptu casual chat about beer with someone in the industry. So they're digging it. They're like that you're dropping this knowledge and sitting down and talking with this. Clint knows what's up. Brewing a good Pilsner isn't easy. So many styles nowadays. You can hide flaws. Brewing a low ABV lager without those flavors is tough.
The hardest thing to do.
It's
the hardest thing to do, like she said. There's nothing to hide behind.
And Trish is a stout lover. No, Craig is Kent Beer Reviews. He's over in the UK, so he's one of our international friends. He says, make IPA clear again.
Our IPAs are clear. They're clear.
And Trish asked if you ever heard of Trillium, which I think everybody's heard of Trillium, right?
Sure,
I actually just did a review on Trillium, and they make a good beer. It's the first time I had them, and all the hype was out there built around them too. But they were actually one of the ones I felt lived up to some of that hype. And I say that because we get a lot of people that like, say, Founders and KBS.
Sure.
The last couple of years I've done KBS. I felt it was good, but I didn't feel it was like hype worthy for what people were making. I'm like, they got a great beer alone and just their breakfast stout.
Sure.
They're going out here doing it. I'm like, is it worth me making that transition over to the other one? For me, it really was. I can just enjoy the breakfast stout as much as I can enjoy the KBS.
Right.
And I'm not spending up extra $5 a bottle too.
I'm not chasing no KBS.
Right.
I'll buy it if it's around. I'm not chasing. I can get breakfast stout every day.
Exactly. And then some of these beers have been out there so much where they've had hype around them. You talk about Pliny out there, Pliny Younger, and there's Pliny the Elder, and you're looking at the Trillium beers, you're looking at Julius, and Joe, the Beer Patrol, has sent me one of the ones from Treehouse to Julius, which was good, but it was kind of like, I see all these videos about all this hype around, and I'm like, it's a good, solid, New England hazy type IPA, but it's not what people are saying to me that it actually was.
Right, yeah.
And I wonder, like, are you getting so caught up because you finally got one, you're like, oh, I got to give the high score. I'm like, it's solid, it's decent, it's not earth shatter. It's like, the good thing about coming out and seeing things like this is really getting in and finding these other ones. Like that Brut IPA is one of my favorite ones. Like I said, it's the first one I had that style, but for an IPA, that's kind of a nice style to have and enjoy. And I can easily go through, like sometimes you'll drink an IPA and you'll drink, well, I'm not going to go through a 6-pack of these because I don't want that scratchiness in the throat and all that kind of stuff. That one, you could easily go through a 4 or 6-pack of those and just throw it down very easily and not have to worry about it. So the hype is one of those things I always question out there when people are saying these different things around some of the beers, but
yeah, I think that's like that forms around a limited availability and a couple people saying that it's super awesome, and then I don't know, somebody wants to chase after it, like all the Hoof-Hearted stuff. I mean, they make really good beer, but I don't know why you want to drive across the country or trade your wife for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. You see it. Well, I'm in Cincinnati, but I'm on the Kentucky side. But down in Louisville, people do the same with Against the Grain, which makes some solid type beers and everything.
Dude,
but it's
they make
kind of
rad beer. But
yeah.
I mean, it's is it something you like good enough to like chase around?
Yeah.
Like I said, trade your wife for it.
Yeah, yeah. Now I will say that 450 North shit they make in Indiana though.
I haven't had it.
That's some pretty good. That's some pretty good beer. I don't know if I'm gonna trade my wife for it, but I can drive over. But again, that gets into the. It's not like I don't want to say it's like a fad, but again, it gets into that whole juiciness type thing. But they make a pretty solid product in what they're doing. But their distribution, they're limited in that area. You can get them sometimes like over in the Louisville type area from Indiana where they're located, I believe. One of my buddies on there, Todd, he usually sends us up. He said he's the only one to send us up some recently. Very tough to get a hold of, but again, it's that hype also around it. But it's got to be delivered on the hype too.
Sure,
they're one of the few breweries that delivered on that hype.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's not always my experience, like you said though.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be all this, all this hype about something, and then you taste it, and you're like, yeah, it's really good beer, but what is everybody, what's everybody like talking about here? I don't get it.
And then you find some beers that are just like not as much hype, like the. I talk about like the Ballast Point and their what's the one? Because they had the coconut and the peanut butter variation, the High West version.
Is it the porter?
It's the porter, the Imperial porter. I can't remember the name of it now.
Is it High Seas?
High C? Is it
no? I don't know, man.
Anyway,
there's so much stuff out there. I can't keep up anymore, dude.
One of the guys watching know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but it's like a solid beer, but you don't hear as much hype about it.
Right.
And every time you taste it, like, I don't know why I don't drink more of this.
Sure.
And it's kind of just maybe because they're everywhere and people just don't think about them like that type of situation. I know we just got Yuengling in Kentucky earlier this year. Yuengling started expanding, and people were crazy about getting Yuengling, but they couldn't get it anywhere else.
Just got it?
Yeah, we just got it. Yuengling is only in I think 14 or 15 states or whatever, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, they expanded to Kentucky, Indiana, Arkansas, in their most recent expansion. But one of the guys, Eric, that watches the channel, they don't get it in Michigan. He gets it when he goes out of town and stuff. So but it's not like it's a beer that's shattered or anything, but the name of it is kind of like the whole image of everything. And it's a good beer. It's a classic beer, but it's one of those things where, because you can't get it, the hype is built up a little bit more on it. And then when you get it, you enjoy it, you're like, is it really worth me having to worry about getting this beer after I've actually had a few?
Were you around for when Coors was only out in Colorado?
Yeah, it was only out there.
That was like a thing.
Yeah.
Coors is just.
It's only Colorado type beer,
it's it's just a light American lager. What was all the hype about it back in the
Smoking
70s,
the Bandit too. Smoking the Bandit was smuggling Coors. So in the movie, remember those Smoking the Bandit movies about getting Coors from Texas to Florida. So that kind of helped them build them a little bit of a thing around them. But the hype thing is always something that happens here in the craft brewery industry. So it's always interesting to see how you guys look at that and how you guys manage for that and everything. Because whether it's the New England or whether it's the Brut or whether it's whatever the latest thing maybe happened, we got sparkle beer now. Are you going to make sparkling beer everywhere? I don't know. Some breweries have started making these sparkling glitter type beers I've seen online.
With the edible.
Have you seen those yet?
Yeah, the brewer prior to me here did that.
It's like, so what's the glitter really supposed to do?
I'm cool.
Yeah.
I don't even want to try it.
Right, and it's kind of.
I don't want sparkle flakes in my digestive system.
Right.
I don't even know where they go or they turn into. Approved by the FDA. I'm cool.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that actually turned out where they had these glitter. And there are a lot of people that say they don't even want to try it. Like, why? Is this like a gimmick type thing or whatever?
Completely.
Yeah, but some people will go after it. I mean, so.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to some people, but I don't know. I'm not a guy who gets trapped by gimmicks. I don't think in any format in my life.
Well, I always figure craft beer always have its pet rocks. So. Kind of the old, I don't remember, you might be younger, the old pet rock they used to talk about stuff people would buy these things. They didn't do anything, it was just a rock, but they were putting a name on it.
They packaged it and people were buying it.
And people were buying it, right?
There's freaking rocks
6
everywhere.
months later, why did I buy this thing, right? So we kind of get that type of thing taking place here. And then, let me see here. Then Joe says, give me beer. Oh, glitter beer is the gimmick of all gimmicks. And let me see here. This is really annoying, Google. For a powerful company as Google is, whoops, cancel that back out. No. let's flip it back. Sorry guys, flipped to the wrong button there. Anybody that's dealt with this YouTube app knows what I'm going through. True says, so the guys get their chicks go to the brewery. I think they're talking about the glitter beer. Yeah. Well, okay, so Earth says, what styles do you enjoy, also not enjoy with beer?
Not enjoy to brew. What styles do I enjoy? I enjoy all styles. I mean, I'm not like a beer snob. I just, don't my snobbiness starts and ends with, is it good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that like immediately goes to judging the beer for off flavors.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily need to hit the style parameters for me to enjoy it. I'm just like, I'm looking for the obvious, acetaldehyde, dimethyl sulfide, and diacetyl.
Right.
Right. That's the first three things that I'll look for in a beer. Off flavor smodolistus and stuff like that, stressed yeast, etc. Dirt, not having poor sanitation practices. Just kind of like real basic sort of like homebrew stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the same things that you should look for in your own, when you're a home brewer. If it doesn't have any of those things I mentioned, I'm probably gonna like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if a lot of people are like, oh well, what's your favorite beer? And I don't necessarily have a favorite beer, but I like to like maybe re-ask the question, reformat it as to if you had one beer you could only drink for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And call me a cheese ball or whatever you want to think, but it's Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
That's one of the ones I actually choose too. Yeah.
That's the first craft beer I had. A friend of mine from California had Anchor Porter. He had a couple things from who made Bell's. So he had their Two Hearted. He had their Summer Wheat. I can't remember the hell.
Oberon. Yeah.
Expedition Stout. And he had this nice little tasting of all these craft beers. And he also had like Sammy Smith.
Oh yeah.
Stout and some other imported stuff. And prior to that, I was drinking just expensive imports because they were expensive and are cool. Like, oh, you're drinking Budweiser, I'm drinking Heineken. My 6-pack costs $400, and some sort of status thing or something. When I was a teenager. I think I was like 17 when I first tried all these beers. Yes, I was breaking the law. Yes.
We've all been there.
Yes. But that when I tasted Sierra Nevada, I was just like blown away by the hoppiness in it and the drinkability of it. And that's the beer for me that made me want to make beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if the end all beers for me, the beer before you die, that it's going to be Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah.
It's just classic, and it's, to me, that's craft beer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that, just because we've had stuff where we ask different questions and things, and it's kind of like question that'll come up a lot of times. People say, well, what is your go-to beer or whatever? For me, I put Sierra Nevada Pale Ale there too. I mean, it's a nice
everywhere.
Traditional pale ale. It's got everything about it you would want. You can easily kick back and enjoy it. So, so it's kind of funny that you said that too. But as far as like, is there a style that kind of to brew that not your favorite one to brew, but or do you kind of just dig all the styles? Because you're making stuff you like, so you're not really going after anything that's kind of more of a.
I'm not challenged by brewing anything thus far. You know what I mean? I've been doing it so long. I've been doing this for over a decade professionally. And I don't have anything that's like, I hate brewing that. So there's been some issues at some other breweries that I worked at, like brewing wheat, brewing with rye. High volumes of that. 50% or more, and then you get the obvious. People had the nightmare stuck mash. You know what I mean? Those have been a pain in the ass. On some more challenging equipment at other breweries, but I don't really got one, honestly. They're all fun. I like to drink them all. I like to brew them all. It's all fun to me.
Well, that's cool. That's what it's about then. It's like I think if you're at some brewery or whatever, and they call out, hey, we need to make a batch of some type of wheat ale you didn't want to make. You're like, shit, I hate dealing with that one type thing. But
Okay, so here. All right, so you just conjured a thought. You know, when I worked at Maumee Bay, there's a beer that's from this area that they bought the brand rights to. It's called Buckeye beer.
Okay.
And at one point, it was one of the biggest beers, volume brewed beers in the Midwest and the country.
Oh wow.
Meister Brau bought, back in the 70s, I believe.
Okay.
There was all these, all these acquisitions happening. Meister Brau out of Illinois, maybe Chicago, bought Buckeye, and then Miller bought Buckeye.
Okay.
So Meister Brau rebranded it as Light, the L-I-T-E that you see.
Right, the Light,
Miller
yeah,
Light,
yeah.
Like that, and then Miller bought them out, and that was supposedly Miller Light is the original Buckeye recipe, which is that's not true because beer recipes change.
Right.
Over years, depending on market demand and where people's flavor preferences are. But that beer, I hated brewing that beer over there because it's a love-hate relationship for people around this area. Like a lot of people love it and a lot of people hate it, and I just got so sick of being a craft brewery and making this bottom tier. Sort of light American lager, and then people telling me how much it sucked. You know what I mean? And they used to, I don't know, it used to get on my nerves, and then I'm like, I'm brewing this beer and no one likes. You know what I mean? But it people like it because it was a high volume seller for us. We brewed a lot of that beer. Yeah. So I mean, it was one of those beers that I didn't like to brew.
Yeah.
I started thinking about it. There was one beer that I didn't like to brew, and it was Buckeye. But it's a good beer. It's a good beer. So, anyways. Yeah.
Well, cool. Let me see here. And if we're holding you up on anything, let us know as well. But
I was honestly just I was doing some inventory and getting ready to do a bulk hop.
Let's see here. Is there anything else that we're up in here?
Yeah, Victory.
Yeah, Victory. See, that's what it was. Yeah, so I knew Joe would probably. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah.
That beer's awesome, dude. What a great porter.
He said Coors is the well, no doubt, all the hype. So yeah, so I'm going back to what we were talking about Coors there. He said people want what you can't get. It's just how in general some people care. So
right. That's a lot of the drive and hype is the I can't get it, so I want it.
Sure. And he said not chasing KBS either. This isn't 2013 or what.
Moving on. We're moving on.
Yeah, and then Trish says, yeah, that's like Sip of Sunshine there because she's in the, like I said, Northeast. Everyone chases that one as well. Her husband is like, man. So her husband is craft beer pours. She's Mrs. Craft Beer Pours. So every day they're pretty much live streaming stuff on beer too. Right, so I think that was where we were and everything else there. Yeah. So a lot of good stuff there. I mean, beer should be fun. Beer should be enjoyable. When I do the videos, or I do the blog and everything, it's kind of like trying to educate people, but doing it in a fun type way and have fun with it along those lines.
Well, the craft beer's fun, man.
So definitely.
Yeah, we don't got no room for pretension in this game.
No, it's funny. Like some of the Facebook groups that you'll see, like people get
extremely pretentious.
Yeah,
chill out, dude. It's just
beer, right? So it's almost like I'll come to your house and I'll stab you. Like, really, you're going to get over this fight over somebody about beer along those lines? It's like if you're not buying it or it's not drinking it, why does it really matter if someone does it? And
my response to those people is, you're going to go to prison. Right, fun. I'm supposed to be drinking good beer. You're going to be really crappy food.
Yeah.
There's no reason to get aggressive about this kind of stuff, dude. You know what I mean? In any format, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's no reason to. There's something for everybody, so there's no reason to get aggressive. There's no reason to be pretentious about any of this stuff. Yeah. I don't really get what drives people to act like that, honestly. Yeah.
It's I don't know, keyboard warrior type thing sometimes on Facebook. Just like I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you would put some of the stuff in there. People put in there sometimes about beer being that bad. I mean, it's. We have one of our friends that always drinks craft beer, but he also loves like Coors Light and Miller and stuff. And outside
of Miller Light yesterday.
Yeah, so
it was fresh, it was cold, and it went really well with my chicken wings.
Yeah, there you go, right? and he'll post something on some of the groups sometimes and people will like lose their mind over or whatever. It's like, really? You're just going to get upset or bothered by it, you know?
Yeah, I think people just sometimes just lack the perspective that they need to have, you know what I mean? But to each their own, dude. I'm not hating on none of it, dude.
No.
It's your thing, man. I stay back there and brew my beer, dude. I'm not into any of that stuff. So.
It's like, you know, loosen up the Birkenstock or something. So.
That was kind of tight, dude.
What's in there? Let's see. Joe says people being pretentious over an alcoholic beverage is one of the most infuriating things. But then again, people judge others over pineapple on pizza.
You can put it wherever the hell you want.
Yeah.
I don't gotta eat it.
We had a big debate one time on one of the screens about pineapple on pizza. One of the guys was like, you can't put pineapple. Like, you can't make an Hawaiian pizza without pineapple for one. An Hawaiian pizza is a good ass pizza if you've had it. Yeah, so and it's like, there's no Canadian bacon. Well, that's just ham. And then they're like, no, our Canadian for that's Canadian bacon. And it's like, you know, you get all this different stuff happening and stuff. If it's good, eat it, enjoy it.
I think people just like to troll on other people, and I think a lot of people like to argue. So, you know, trick no good for me, man. I ain't the one. Go try to argue with somebody else, dude.
Yeah, at the point, like, you know, no use to going any further. Okay, we're going to just end it right there. You know, it's kind of like me trying to argue with somebody over something they're never going to get, or their perception is that much more different than mine is. It's like, okay, we're going to just disagree on it. Move on.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's see your friends high five. Let's go have a beer.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting in on everything. So definitely appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, you're willing to hang around. I'm going to probably do another flight of some beers here. Kind of working my way down the list here. So my wife's actually at a conference over there at the Marriott Renaissance.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I pulled up.
That's where you're staying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I walked down.
Heights?
Not yet. I haven't gone. I went to the bar downstairs yesterday, but I didn't go to the Heights one yet.
Yeah, they're both really nice spaces. They both got really good food, and they both have good wine and beer selection. The Heights is awesome. Make sure you get up there around 7:00 tonight and watch the sunset.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's super rad, especially your wife, man. Go up there and chill on that balcony.
There's a balcony up there too, like a rooftop. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, dude, it's freaking rad.
Okay, I'm making note to do that as well.
Up there because you can see. You know, a good portion of downtown, you know, the summit run of all the buildings, you can see the river, and then you can see everything on the other side of the other side of the river with their boardwalk and all that stuff over there too. It's just a rad view. It's a really cool space. So. All
right, that's why I get up there as well and everything.
Yeah, they usually have a pretty couple really nice selections of craft beer on tap too.
Yeah.
Hey, I just forewarn you, it's kind of expensive. You know, you probably got to pay $7 for a pint of beer.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was paying that last night down in the bar downstairs, right? That's hotel. Yeah. I mean, well, we go to like Cincinnati. We go to some of the breweries. I mean, that's what you're paying for. Some of them at a pint. Some of them are more, you know, $3-5 a pint. Some do flights. You know, some do half pours, which are like 8 ounces now, where you get them for like 3. But you're kind of used to when you go to some of the places, like kind of the bars or the offbeat thing. That's just what you pay there. So
standard. Sure. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
What are you just gonna keep working your way down the line?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a bad plan?
No. It's a perfect plan, dude. That's the best thing you can do right there.
No, I'll probably get like that chicken pizza at some point. So.
The barbecue chicken pizza is pretty legit. Yeah. Eric's our pizza guy. He makes pretty rad pizza.
Cool. Yeah, I just want like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you told me the flights that you had, and then I haven't done the Pale Rider yet. I haven't done the Phil's Lager. I did the Hellas. That's what I had to pint on. Russian Imperial Stout. Got to get that.
We're out of. We just kicked that. We just
really
kicked the indulgence. Yeah.
So for you watching, the one they just kicked was a sweet indulgence, and guess what? It was a chocolate raspberry milk stout. So you know that was on my list. Imperial. Yeah, it's 7.2 ABV.
The fresh hop just came out 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Copious amounts of fresh Centennial. They were picked, and I brewed the beer within 18 hours of them being picked.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think you're gonna get much fresher than that.
Nice.
Unless you're out west.
That's cool.
So the flapjack lanterns, the pumpkin ale. It's basically like a Scottish light base.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's got some good esters on it. It's a really nice balanced pumpkin beer. It's not like over the top with any of the spice or any of that stuff. We only killed a few pumpkins in its production. There is a beer that's not on here. Are you familiar with Rogan beer?
No.
Like a Dunkelrei style beer.
Oh yeah.
Like a Dunkelweiss.
Yeah.
Instead, the wheat's replaced with rye.
Right.
So that's up there.
So that's one that's been added since she's the most current.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's, we couldn't think of anything cool to call it, so we just call it the Regensburg Dunkelrei,
Okay.
which is the city where the style originated from, and
Gotcha.
kind of like the descriptor of what the actual beer style is. So it's kind of an obscure thing. I didn't realize how obscure it was because I've been making Rogans since I was a home brewer. So
Yeah. And then this is like your guest one here, which is Index Westburg. Yeah.
Dude, that's. I don't think you can really get a better Dunkelweizen than
That's
that.
pretty good too.
Oh yeah. That's an awesome beer.
But this will be. I got some more work to do.
Are you an IPA guy? You like it?
Yeah.
You like it all, probably. Don't you? Yeah. If you're a beer blogger.
I mean, Shandy is the only one I really. I cannot.
Rattlers and the Shandies.
The funny thing is, I can do Rattlers.
Yeah.
But Shandy's just, I don't know what it is. Like, we had one of the places down in Kentucky. They had the Leinenkugel. They had a pretty cool glass. I wanted the glass for the collection.
That's over the top.
Yeah, and I'm like,
so sweet.
It is so sweet and everything. And that's like, she's like, well, you gotta get the beer to get the glass. Like, you can't just give me the glass. Like, no. So she filled it. I did a quarter. Like, you gotta pour the rest. I can't finish this one. I just
drain pour.
Drain pour. I cannot. The Shandies are one area is like my kryptonite. Like, I cannot get through.
I'm cool.
They're so sweet. When people get all excited when Leinenkugel comes out each year with their Shandy, it's like, I'm not the one. I'm just not.
I don't think Shandies are supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think traditional Shandy is literally just beer with
it's beer and
lemonade.
juice. Yeah, lemonade. Yeah.
So,
I'm like, you know what? I'll get diabetes the regular way. I'm not going to drink a Shandy and force it.
If you poured some Hells into a glass and added some lemonade, that's probably what a Shandy is.
It's supposed to be a Shandy, right?
You know, it's not. There's not supposed to be cloyingly sweet.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not supposed to, make your teeth like they're rotting out of your face when you drink the beer. So yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, because the Shandies with the lemonade and Rattlers are usually with the juice. I believe when they actually put those together. So it's kind of like that's the one style.
Shandy's English beer with lemonade, English pale or something like that, and then the Rattlers are the German lagers with fruit juices.
Yeah.
That's right,
Because there's one that from Canada. I forgot which one it was. I think it was Moosehead had a Rattler. I actually enjoyed that. I got that last year, and it was really good. Like, why can I enjoy the Rattlers, but the Shandies I just couldn't do it. It was totally different. But that juice to that lemonade, where it's like overabundance of it, just can't mess around with it. It's just like, pour this baby out. But that's me. But if you like Shandies, enjoy them. People enjoy them.
Somebody out there.
Somebody likes them out there because they're selling a ton of them. Oh, somebody posted something here. Oh, Joe says FFS Imperial Chocolate Raspberry Milk Stout. Earth is not happy that kicked. Earth loves that kind of beer too. So that would have been one I would have definitely hit and highlighted that one for sure.
Yeah, that was a beer that was brewed actually by the previous brewer before like I said, I've only been here for about 5 going on 6 months right now. So Shannon Fink was the prior brewmaster here.
Okay.
She actually moved to Canada.
Did she really?
The brewmaster up there somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but
cool. Well, Canada's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
on craft brewing.
That was a really cool idea for a February sort of like Valentine's beer.
Yeah.
It's like a chocolate covered, not cherry but raspberry. Yeah, pretty cool beer. So
any beers that you're brewing now that you're excited about bringing out?
Moving forward, so we're falling into the fall season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Oktoberfest time. It's pumpkin time. The Regensburg is a limited fall. The Rogan beer is a limited fall release. And then let's see what's next on the Wet Hop is another fall beer. So right now I'm kind of like already gearing up to do the late fall winter beers.
Yeah.
So we've got a rye Baltic Porter, Mighty Samson.
Ooh, wow.
That's gonna be coming out. We're redoing Icon. We're doing True Scotsman, which is a Scotch ale. And let's see what else we're doing. Our Christmas beer. We do a pretty cool concept with the Christmas beers is that they have the 3 wise men. It's like Balthazar, Caspar. Oh man, I can't. Oh my god, my brain's hurting right now. So there's the three wise men though, the 3 names. So they alternate every year which one they go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So
right.
After I should look in the notes. So we'll be brewing whatever Three Wise Men it is for this year. I don't know if I don't know if you said if you mentioned that we're kind of like we're the brewery is called Black Cloister. It's,
right.
It's a Lutheran sort of.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So that's why you get to we've got a lot of nods towards the religious thing, and
okay.
We're not a church. A lot of people think we're a church. A lot of people.
I hold service in the brewery.
Yeah,
so.
A lot of people. There's a lot of rumors about who we are and what we're doing, and
right.
a lot of it's not true. We're not giving all our proceeds. All of our profits don't go to a church.
Right.
We do some philanthropic stuff and give
that's
some
awesome.
money to not any particular church, but we do donate.
Yeah, well, that's huge in the craft brewing community. A lot of the breweries do.
Yeah, and really, it's a philanthropic thing and a philanthropic. Pronounce that correctly. Have any English Nazis come out and stab me when I walk out the parking lot. That's the thing with the Three Wise Men, and if you just look at a lot,
like the art and everything on here.
Right,
Yeah,
right, yeah.
It's kind of got that feel.
Yeah.
And like the mirror. Well, I'll share this like on another thing when I put it online
You ever
with the
seen anything
mural.
like that?
No, the mural is awesome.
That was actually that's a felt tip marker that was done with a freaking Sharpie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. That is the coolest mural I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's gnarly, dude. Like, there's a real story there. If you look, just walk down the whole line, you can see all these different.
Like a story coming from that way to this way. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's pretty rad, man. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
That's pretty cool. Definitely sick. Yeah.
And this is supposedly one of the longest bar top in the city.
Oh wow.
And it's actually just it's plank. It's a one continuous plank of wood there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. If you want, I'll join you for your next flight and.
Definitely join me. Yeah.
Are you just gonna you continuing on with?
I'm gonna get.
Now?
Yeah.
You want to keep talking? I can go up there and grab them for you.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. All right. So you started. Did you stop with?
I stopped with the Mccool, so.
And you're skipping through Hells.
Yeah, so like Pale Rider.
Pale on down.
And Phil's and all that stuff. Yeah, you need to sheet or you already know what everything is here, so.
I'll call them and then we'll see what their availability is.
So what I'm going to actually do is get into the next flight. I'm going to actually pull up my computer. This will actually help me see the comments a lot easier from everybody. And I can put in my Untapped stuff as well. Because I'm actually sitting by an outlet. So yeah, but if you guys have more questions, feel free to fire away. And Clint's going to join me here on the next flight as well. So that'll be good. Good thing is, walking back to the hotel is easily one street down and one street over, so. Pull this up here. All right, Joe, I see your question there, so I'll ask Clint when he comes back as well. Gotta get hydrated, you know what I mean? Gotta get the hydration. And let me know if you guys can hear both of us okay. I forgot I had this microphone plugged in that I'm using here, but if you can't hear us well, let us know and I want to plug the mic so you can just hear it through the microphone on the cell phone.
Well, that was some fun over here. So fun, man. This is great.
Slide this one that way.
So
cool.
This is kind of going to go down top to bottom.
So like
right to left.
The same way before like 6, 7, 8.
Oh, but that list.
9, 10.
So this top one is the Pale Rider. Then we got Phil's. We skipped Hell's. Then we got Icon. Then we got Fresh Up IPA, Flapjack Lantern, and then there's the Regensburg.
Oh, that's the Regensburg.
The Rogan.
Rogenburg, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Regensburg Rye Dunkel, which is just a Rogan. Long-winded
Give
thing
my
there.
card too, that way you'll
Sure,
have
sure.
that as well.
We'll pick this up for you too.
You're getting a flight though too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
We'll taste
All
it.
right.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me take the old one here. Yeah, I probably won't do such a steep pour on mine.
I'm working.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Okay, fine. There's a promotion right now if you sign up because when you fill out, fill up, and it's $100 off.
Let's see here. I feel like I should throw in a Stone to Crows, but that's not my gig to do that. Pretty cool though having Clint participate today. So totally improv there. Always fun to get out, see breweries, meet people, enjoy beer. Gotta love beer. I am enjoying it, Joe. You are correct. It's a good time for sure. This is what they made that YouTube app a little easier. A half pour of a half. That's awesome. All right, here we go.
They're in the 6-pack here.
All right. Oh, now you got a Big Daddy.
I don't know. I thought that maybe for you if you want.
Well, if you put it in front of me, I may drink it. I'm just saying. So what I did is I actually brought my laptop up, so this actually will make it a little easier to see some of the comments and everything.
There,
yeah, so I can pull that up and see all the chat. All right, so now you guys can ask away a little bit easier. I know Joe had actually asked a question, and he asked your favorite and least favorite of the beer that you brew. He said he knows it's probably hard to choose, but that's why he's asking.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a true answer for that for me, you know.
Yeah. Is there one that stands out more that you're kind of like your proud one you really like? You really think is like the one to really hang your hat on, so to speak, or whatever?
It's actually not anything that I've done here. It's a beer that I created a couple whales when I was at Maumee Bay.
Okay.
One of them was the Imperial Blood Orange Wit.
Okay.
And the other one is the Total Eclipse Breakfast Stout. So.
Oh, I've had the Total Eclipse. You created that one.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, a lot of other stuff that they're still doing over there. that was for the Total Eclipse. That was like something that me and my buddy Mark, you know, we used to spend lots of money. You know, I used to be that guy that was going out and spending $200 at the bottle shops every week.
Right.
And one of the big purchases that we made on the regular, we were just talking about earlier, was Founder's Breakfast Stout. So there's some things that I kind of interpolate with, you know, that beer, and you know, some things I mimicked, and then some other things I didn't like that I didn't feel like were very breakfasty. But yeah, just a huge Imperial Stout, lactose, local roasted coffee that's cold brewed, that was added to it, post fermentation. The roasters, actually, I got to plug it in. I got to plug them. Flying Rhino.
Okay.
They're a really awesome roaster, craft roaster. So
excellent.
Yeah, and then split vanilla beans and oatmeal, a lot of oatmeal. So yeah, that was one of my favorite beers to brew, and you know, I think eventually we'll probably end up you know, maybe doing you know, something similar to that here, but
okay.
You know, just kind of focusing on the core brands and trying to get us through the seasons at this point. So
got you.
But yeah, that's something that I was really proud of, and you know, we're actually really lucky to do. You know, I was there for 2 years as a professional, and then we started brewing a lot of my own recipes there. So that was I don't know, kind of surreal as it was happening. You know what I mean? To be in my you know, late 20s and somehow turned a hobby into a profession. You know, I was an electrician for 11 years prior to that. Yeah.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to school for electrical engineering and had a kid, and the
world changed.
The girlfriend made more, so she went back to work, and I did the stay-at-home dad thing and started volunteering over there.
Nice.
And one of my good friends that I used to homebrew with was a brewmaster there, and ended up working my way into a position and taking over the production facility duties and all the R&D stuff. So
nice.
Yeah,
cool.
That was fun. That was a fun job over there.
All right, guys. So sorry about that. I had to adjust the camera, so sorry about that shaking around. And for some reason, it keeps asking me to trust my computer. I don't know why it's doing it, but that's why I was moving around stuff. I had to plug in my phone so my phone didn't die as well. But sorry if it caused anybody to like, what's that thing they get when they like go to a movie, the camera shakes too much, kind of like dizziness or stuff like that, or anything.
Vertigo?
But yeah, maybe that. Yeah. So if anybody's like, why is Rod freaking me out right now? Sorry about that. And then Total Eclipse Breakfast Stout. I've had that at the. That's the other thing I was gonna ask you too, because I had that at the Cincinnati Beer Fest.
I used
a couple
to go
years
down
ago.
there.
Yeah. So I used to go there like volunteer. We just did the one at the ballpark this past month or so. Then we got the next one.
You
coming
guys
up.
get some gnarly turnouts down there.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like the 1 year I was there, you guys had like 8,000 people.
Yeah, it gets sick. Especially the winter one gets more than the summer one. Because the summer one is like in September.
It was the winter one.
Yeah, the winter one gets sick. So,
yeah.
And then we do it at Duke Energy Center. And that'll be huge again this February. And that's the one we get like 500 plus beers. So it gets crazy. I mean, you actually have to come in with the game plan and the map. I mean, literally, people will have their sheet and they'll have stuff highlighted. And they'll be like, where's this one at? I need to know where this one is.
Right.
Yeah. You can't get around to everything, so you have to know which way you want to go. So every year that seems to grow more. And I was going to ask, is that something you guys have on your agenda to try to be a part of? Because that'll get you some pretty good exposure.
It's really up to our distributor, really, at this point. We don't have we're lacking in the marketing sales position right now. We're looking for somebody. So right now we're kind of just at the, you know, we're at the mercy of whatever our distributor's trying to do right now.
Right.
You know, I think we probably will end up being down there. You know, because Cavalier's got a pretty good presence there.
Cavalier's usually a part of it. Like they usually them in Heidelberg. You'll see
they
them
usually have like they roll in their big ass truck and they just have like 30 tabs on the side. You know,
I may or may have worked one of those tabs.
Awesome. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, so that's the other thing too. You know, I gave my card, and we can talk about that later offline and stuff too. But if there's stuff that you want to get marketed down in the area, just let me know, and I'll get you guys hooked up and then different stuff there as well. So that'll be something we can do there too. Let me try to fix this thing. Why does it keep saying that? You know, I should do is plug it into the wall actually. It'll reach over that far. No, it's not going to reach that far. It should just go right into my computer, though. I don't know why it's screwing up. Sometimes technology.
Oh, as a power source?
Yeah, as the power there. Sometimes the technology isn't always the best. So let's see here. See, there's some more questions. Check this here. Joe says, Clint, you're a great dude. Wish every single brewer was like you. This is what micro, craft, whatever you want to call it, is all about. So Joe giving you some props there.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Vanessa Kitty asked how many taps are here at the bar.
We have a 20 on the wall, and we have 4 up front on a moving kegerator.
Okay.
We don't necessarily always have that many of our own beers on tap. We usually like to get some pretty rare imports, German and Belgian style stuff. So a lot of times you come in here and we'll have some really cool stuff from like Petrus or Vienna Stefan, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. And then Joe says some rattlers will actually use soda, like lemon lime. So that's true
okay.
Too. Yeah. And Vanessa Kitty says hello all before she asked that question there. Craig says, hit trusting, yeah. I gotta fix this thing. Hold on 1 second, guys. If this camera shakes, I apologize. Let's see. Come on, computer. Sorry about that, guys. Freaking iPad is fighting with Microsoft right now. Apple and Microsoft wars. Craig says, great sounding beers. Can you ship to the UK? LOL. Let's see here. Joe says, looking at the website, are you brewing Mccool? Was it Mccool or Melchior?
Melchior.
Okay, a stout with cherry puree sounds tasty.
No, there's no plans to redo that as of now. We're actually going through some overhaul on the website as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we've actually had a kind of like a changing of the guard over the last, I don't know, since spring. There's new general manager, new brewmaster, and now we're looking for a sales marketing guy. So it's kind of like a whole new crew of people here now.
Gotcha.
Which was actually pretty cool. It's like a fresh start for the business. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then let me know, guys. I actually had to take the microphone out. Oh, hold on. Why is this thing not? Just put the code in once. So if you guys can't hear both of us, let me know. But I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware.
So you're micing out of your phone right now?
Yeah, I'm micing out of the phone now. So
all right.
They should hear it still okay. I mean, iPhone's got pretty good quality. So he said it sounds just fine. Okay,
all
cool.
Right, rad.
Joe says, "Can't have that smile, Roger. Enjoy every loving heck out of this." I'm like, well deserved, brother. I guess I am enjoying it. It's a good time. Ryan's in the house. Beer by the Numbers. So Ryan runs a site called Beer by the Numbers, where he provides a lot of historical aspect to beer.
Really?
He does a lot of trivia on beer, a lot of good things talking about different styles of beer. He's doing a thing this week with Oktoberfest and the growth of Oktoberfest and all kind of stuff, background knowledge.
Cool.
So Ryan is great. Ryan gets into a lot of analytical stuff, so it's great to have him a part of it too.
We need more people like him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so you can always check him out at Beer by the Numbers.
Yeah.
He always does a good job.
Send all the new money beer drinkers your way.
Right. And then we're talking about total eclipse of the stout. Joe says he still has an older barrel aged vintage of that in his cellar, so he still has a vintage there as well. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but the video is still going. And then Clint, Ryan asked me, how many drinks do you have on an average day? Because I think you're working in a brewery, people kind of think you may have a few.
No, I mean, I would be a liar if I said I wasn't an alcoholic, because technically if you drink more than twice a week, you're an alcoholic. So I'm actually very, very deep in the trenches of alcoholism. But yeah, I mean, an average day I probably drink 1 to 2 pints. I go out and drink maybe 2-3 days out of the week where I go and get carried away.
Yeah.
And Uber home.
Yeah, there you go, right? Uber. Yeah, one of our buddies, Eric, whenever he's on, we have him do his PSA, and it's all about don't go out there drinking, drunk driving, and all kinds of
It's
stuff.
not worth it.
Yeah.
Dude. It's not worth your life. It's not worth someone else's life. It's not worth your injury or someone else's injury, and it's really not worth the money.
No, for what it can cause, or the loss of my life, but also not just the money, but the loss of everything that you had in your life too. I mean,
sure. Yeah, there's way too much at risk. Yeah. My last, I had a DUI back in 2013. It actually ended up costing me about $11,000 total.
Oh wow! Yeah.
They send you this little intervention class as a alternative to them sending you to jail.
Okay.
And it was this 3-day sort of like lock-in thing that they do, and we did a workshop where we figured out how much money it cost us.
Really?
And then part of that workshop was, so how many days a week do you drink? And if you were to Uber home, what's the average cost for that, and how often does that happen? And it's less for me to Uber home.
Yeah.
Every time I drink, even just 2 pints, than it is to ever drive my car and
put that at risk and everything.
And any of the other risks involved. Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Highly unrecommended.
Definitely.
Don't do it.
Don't. He's about to go into Eric's. He's about to go to Eric's PSA, and he doesn't even know Eric's PSA, and he's about to do the same thing. Joe says, "New money, Hayes Bros." Am I right? So talking about the new money.
Yeah, you nailed it there. Yeah, the new money Hayes chasers. Yeah.
And then he said everything was sounding fine. Occasionally it freezes because of the prompt on probably again. Yeah, and hopefully it stopped. It hasn't popped up here recently, so hopefully we got over that hurdle here. Sometimes this is weird working with the Wi-Fi and stuff, how it all sets up. Pint a Day keeps AA away, according to Paul. Paul is actually PA Brew News, so Paul's a good guy. Paul runs his beer channel out of Eastern PA. So Paul gets a lot of good beers around the thing too. And he actually comes up through this area towards Michigan once in a while, so he'll load up on beers, and great knowledge of beer that he has on his channel and stuff too, and good stuff he likes to share. Paul is what we always joke around is Paul's not your typical cold beer drinker. Like everything, we always say like he wants to like blood warm whenever he drinks his beer. So he drinks like a lot of stuff right.
If it's not good when it's warm, it's not good beer.
Yeah. So he's definitely along those lines. So a lot of times we'll joke around.
It really opens up all the flavor and aroma.
Yeah.
Sure,
so and that's like some of the stuff like we'll do a stout. Like I can walk in my beer cellar at home and grab a stout
and just drink it right out of the cellar.
Drink it right out of the cellar.
Yeah, cellar sounds perfect for an Imperial stout.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we try to teach people there as well. And some of the guys, they drink and they get it cold. Like when you're drinking it cold, you're not getting all the stuff out of it that the brewer wants you to get, and plus it's going to increase your enjoyment. And I mentioned Eric, and he had gotten a bottle of, I forgot which one it was, but it was an Imperial stout. And I'm like, dude, do not drink that cold. You're going to be kicking yourself.
Yeah, you're not getting the full
leave it sit out.
experience.
If you took it out of the fridge, let it sit for 40 minutes. And he told me he's so glad he actually did that because it tastes
it really
so good.
opens it up. Yeah, it's just like adding a little bit of water to a fine scotch,
Yeah. And it says, Ryan says, Joe can yell at me for spamming, but what's the craziest beer or home brew you've been a part of? So that's kind of interesting. The craziest beer or home brew you've been a part of, the craziest thing you may have made or something, I guess. Like something off the wall that would be kind of weird.
I honestly haven't ever made anything that's like super gnarly and weird, No, I did an Imperial maple bacon brown ale.
That's not usual. That sounds.
Yeah. But I mean, it was like I never heard anybody doing it at the time, and then like years later, I started the Zimmergy's putting out stuff about doing bacon and beer. But it was a pretty cool concept where it was when I was actually professionally brewing. Mm-hmm. So we give all our spent mash to a friend of mine that's a farmer. And, they feed it to their pigs, they feed it to their cows, they slaughter them, a lot of that stuff they smoke cure. And I'm like, hey, that'd be really cool to bring this like back full circle. Mm-hmm. Why don't you take some of this this base malt and they do a 24-hour cold smoke with applewood for the bacon. And I'm like, because they always bring me bacon. I'm like, why don't you take some of the malt, smoke it with the bacon, bring me back the side of bacon with the malt. I'm going to take the bacon, I'm going to render it, I'm going to bake it, render off all the fat, I'm going to soak that into some bourbon, extract all that bacony goodness, and then I froze it, I scraped the fat cap off, I froze it a few times and eventually made it so it didn't have any fat solids in it. and then you know, I brewed the beer. It's just a, you know, a basic American brown ale, but it was, you know, Imperial strength with that smoked malt. Yeah. And I added a bunch of sea salt, so you had that salinity of like the baking. You know, it's kind of like the bacon is.
Right.
And then you know, it packaging, when I kegged it, I added this this bacon infused bourbon. So yeah, it was like a 9.5% Imperial brown ale infused with bacon essence, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a really good salinity. It was super unctuous. I never used salt in beer prior to that, and you know, and then, you know, now you got all the Goza thing's kind of like a trend now. So it's like, you know, at the time I thought it was like, you know, kind of like a foreign sort of thing.
Yeah.
Back then it seemed weird to me. Now it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's like the closest thing to the weirdest thing I ever homebrewed. So
You just got a bunch of people excited about that beer, by the way.
it was a pretty rad beer, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, so the only guys I have here, a lot of them are excited about 1 bacon, 2 bourbon. So
yeah, they go hand in hand.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually do a bacon and beer festival here in Toledo.
Okay.
It's in the early spring. So I'll have to get you back up.
Yeah, that definitely. Let me know that. Yeah.
We'll go out and have a fine glass of bourbon afterwards.
Oh man. Let me see here. Red Beard chimed in. Hey, also Red Beard is actually another one that reviews beers. He's actually located up in Canada, so he does a lot of different stuff with the Canadian beers as well. But he loves getting, you know, when he can, I guess some of the American craft beers too. But
Flying Monkey, Flying Monkey. Yeah, their beers are rad, man.
So we'll have a few of the other Canadian guys that are probably chiming here too. But they get a lot of stuff up there. And they have a lot of craft beer stuff taking place too, so it's almost like emulating what we're seeing here on a lot of things.
My old coworker Matt, actually, he works for an importer that gets a lot of the Canadian stuff.
Yeah.
There's really good up there, really good beer.
Let me see here. So Brian Lape, Brian Lape is actually also in Ohio. He's actually north of me, I believe, Brian, if I'm wrong, maybe mistake, you're on the other side of Dayton, so you're just north of Dayton, where I'm south of Dayton in Cincinnati. But he does a beer channel as well, and he does different beer things too.
Then Wapa or something, maybe?
Maybe? I don't know. Brian, if you want to indicate where you're at as well, but he said he's had a few batches blow the airlock off. I think that's Romando.
Well, I've had a geyser. I've had a few geysers happen.
Yeah.
When I was home brewing the breakfast stout before I went going professional, I painted the ceiling. Yeah. A few times. Yeah. I had to scrape the knockdown off and retexture the ceiling.
Yeah. You didn't set your stove on fire. Like Tony did.
I never said I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I never said I didn't do that.
Oh, you didn't do that? That's true. You did not say that.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of get out of my kitchen situations.
Yeah.
Stop doing this to my kitchen. Yeah, my daughter's mom used to get pretty upset about how I leave the kitchen post brew session.
Sometimes you're brewing, you're like a mad scientist. Like,
I literally just bombed the kitchen. It would look like a bomb went off in there. Yeah.
And then Ryan said, I like the sound of that maple bacon brown. Like I said, a lot of these guys are going to like that one. Earth says, you're speaking his language. Craig says, sounds amazing. Joe says, tugging on your heartstrings, Earth, back because he knows he likes the bacon and the bourbon.
Yeah.
And then says, tasty as hell. He says, you need to brew that as a specialty at the current brewery, maybe a small batch, one-off or something. People will be all about it seems.
I think that honestly, that would be a good idea. You know, there's a lot of cool things I'd like to do here, but we have a real limited, we have a real limited fermentation capacity currently, and we actually do a lot of beer through distributorship, so a lot of our fermentation capacity is dedicated to beers that are going out the distro. So
nice.
There's not necessarily like the that level of that I can do with experimentation here, but I think eventually we'll get a pilot system and we'll be able to do a lot of that fun stuff. So.
Awesome. So what beer do I want to see? So
I'll start with Phil's.
okay,
Phil,
this Phil's is
Phil's is this guy here.
This
So
here,
it's
Phil's, okay.
The Phil's Lager is actually named after a gentleman by the name of Phil,
Okay.
and he won the Light American Lager category at the National Homebrew Competition.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he won
All right.
nationals. He won a gold with that, and he's a local, and a lot of the guys in the area know him. Some of the owners are friends with him. So yeah, we invited to come in here and brew the beer, and we've been brewing it since, and it's one of our fastest growing beers, honestly.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's a light American lager, but it's not watery. There's no adjunct in it.
Okay.
So it might not taste like it doesn't taste anything like a Budweiser or a Miller Lite or a Yingling or anything like that. It's actually has some good character to it. It's not completely thin. There's literally like no hops in this beer though.
Okay.
I think I'm using Columbus right now. I think there's like 6 ounces in a knockout. It's 245 gallons that I knock out at. So yeah, 7 ounces to 245 gallons. Not happy.
Well, you get a nice sweetness on the nose from the malt with the aroma.
Yeah, it's got that good graininess. It's just super clean. Nothing off about it.
No.
We pitch big with the lagers. You got to pitch big.
Got good clarity on it.
Yeah,
It almost reminds me of a cider with the clarity.
Yeah,
It's so clear.
We don't filter. We only
Yeah.
fine. We use biofine clear, and you got to go pretty heavy on it with lagers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, texture-wise, it's like I almost feel on the taste, kind of almost like an oat type factor, almost like I'm drinking a Cheerio type situation.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
little bit of the graininess that's
right,
coming through.
right. Yeah, and there's still some good texture, and even though it's a light, there's still some body to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just some pea water.
No.
Sort of.
See, I haven't used pea water in years, like tastes like some of the stuff. When I first started doing the beer videos, and it's kind of like, that was kind of a joke. I was like, I don't really should use that term as much, because it gets like a negative thing out there. But it's like, you kind of think about it. Well, that's kind of like, in a way, because beer is the only thing you can say weird type terms and it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think the pea is just like as a reference to color.
Yeah.
Like Stone's like, fizzy yellow beer. We don't do fizzy yellow beer.
Yeah. But it's got a good graininess to it. You definitely pick that up.
Yeah. So it's got a blend of
Flavor sticks.
two-row, Canadian two-row, and German Pilsner malt. A little bit of Crystal 10, a little Crystal 20, and a little bit of Carapils. A lot of that stuff you would not normally see
Get
in
a little bit of
in a light
sweetness.
lager. Yeah, it definitely got a lingering sweetness. It's a good lawnmower beer, man.
Yeah.
You can drink this all day.
Oh, you could definitely, on a hot day, I mean,
Sure.
if you don't want something heavy, or if you're out golfing or something like that, you can easily throw these down with no problem.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
one has the ABV 4.9%. So, and at that level, like you mentioned, there's not really a thinness or a wateriness with it as well. So it does hold well too there.
Mm-hmm. I'm only doing really short pours because eventually I have to do some kind of work to it.
Eventually you have to go back to brewing something.
So yeah, I started out with that.
Okay.
I'll figure I'll take you through it like lightest to darkest.
Okay.
So I think maybe we'll move to the Rogan beer, and then we'll go through the IPAs, and then we'll end with the Icon.
Okay, so this is the Rogan beer.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, looking darker at first.
Yeah, no, it's just because you got more.
Yeah. So I'm drinking twice as much as Clint right now, by the way. So, so there's the Rogan beer. Got a nice color to it.
Yeah, you get a little, so it uses a Bavarian wheat strain, so you get a little bit of that.
Now, what's the ABV on this one?
Oh, gosh, 5.4.
Okay.
5.4.
You almost get like a little bit of a spice note out of there as well.
Yeah, you get some. There's some polyphenols there.
Yeah.
There's some, some of that classic.
More coriander.
Yeah, there's some vinyl in there.
Yeah.
There's some banana esters, but
yeah, definitely the banana. Ooh, let's go to the palate too. Oh, that is something.
yeah, and it's
Got a nice stickiness.
Yeah,
too.
the,
flavor really.
the spiciness of the rye kind of like doubles up with those polyphenols. And,
Yeah.
I feel like some people might not like this beer because of that. But
Send it in my house if nobody's drinking it. This is pretty damn good.
yeah, I mean, if you're into Dunkelweiss, you would like a Rogan beer because it's just it's just basically a Dunkelweiss with the.
I think a lot of like the people that maybe are newer or kind of getting involved, maybe they're not being used to that style. They're not used to that taste, so it might throw them off a little bit.
Right,
but
right, yeah.
If you like a Dunkel, this definitely is what you want to look for. This is very solid. Let me see here.
Yeah, so we got dark Munich in there. There's some Tetnags, some German imported Tetnag. There's some Sazer. So there's like it's U.S. grown Saaz basically. All German malt. So there's Pilsner malt. There's both light and dark Munichs. There is a little bit of Carafa, dehusked, roasted barley for some color addition. And then there's some Cara Munich in there as well.
Nice. And then we have here, let me see. Joe says it's like when people get that almost ammonia aroma to certain hops and say cat piss. Weird, but it fits. So again, talking about how the terminology in craft beer is weird. And then Paul says Rogan beer, rye chaos. He said, or did I hear wrong? So Paul is likes a lot of the old traditional style type beers too. So this would be something Paul would definitely dig as well.
Yeah.
Earth says I do want to try these. Well, you're in San Diego, so that's a little bit harder. And then Joe says, no, you didn't hear wrong, Paul. This has your name written all over it. Clint is your beer soulmate. So, and then James, welcome James Proce. James is actually one that actually enjoys a lot of beer. He's actually out in Chicago. When I went a couple weeks ago to Lagunitas, I actually met with James. And on Facebook, we have a group called the Beer Coalition where different people can get together that like beer. Or some people are in the industry, some people are doing reviews, some people just want to learn more about it.
Yeah, a little camaraderie thing, kind of like meet each other up.
I'm
so heading your way, you want to meet up for a beer? Yeah, I'm coming to your city, show me around sort of thing.
So he was one of the people there. We got a chance to actually meet and sit down and have some beers at one of the bars in Chicago. So we had a great time.
That's rad.
So we try to bring people together through that group as well. And again, it's one of those groups that doesn't have that pretentiousness like the other groups that have out there with some of the Facebook stuff. So it was a great time. This one, Paul, I'm going to say you would definitely, this is to you, you would definitely enjoy this one. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, so it's also a little more highly carbonated too. I think that I got that up to like 2.7 volume. So it doesn't, the way our draft line's set up though, it doesn't seem to stick in the keg the longer the keg's on draft. We do a direct draw, so the way the keg has to be pressurized with the nitrogen blend, it doesn't. These higher carbonated beers, they don't necessarily, the carbonation doesn't stick in them through the whole keg. It seems like, but it's pretty good beer though.
It's pretty tasty.
Yeah. Next one, let's see. So we got. Maybe we should move on to the pumpkin beer. And then the IPAs.
Is this the pumpkin here?
Yeah.
So, as you all know, I've not done pumpkin this year. I was kind of waiting October, but we're going to make an exception. It's early for me on pumpkin beer, but since I'm here, we're going to go ahead and enjoy the pumpkin beer and check this one out.
Yeah, so we have a custom blend the spices.
Ooh,
so there's
nutmeg.
There's all the obvious stuff. There's nutmeg, there's cinnamon, there's allspice, there's a little bit of clove. And the name of the beer is Flapjack O'Lantern, and we call it that because we actually use some maple syrup in it as well. It doesn't come through as like a discernible thing. It ferments
I like
out.
maple syrup. I've had some maple syrup beer.
Yeah, it ferments out completely. It's like, you know,
Add a
it's,
little creaminess in there. Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, it's a Scottish light base beer.
Okay.
So you get that nice, you get a nice smoothness, almost creaminess from the Edinburgh ale yeast strain. I love Scottish beers. You don't see them around a lot.
And so that's one of the other beer reviewers Dean always does. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to smile because this is damn good.
Yeah, it's not over the top with the spices. It's not a spice bomb. It's not overly sweet. It's just got a really nice balance, and you know, I think it turned out pretty well. So far, people are really enjoying it. Yeah.
Damn, that is tasty. It's just it's funny because I'm sitting here enjoying a pumpkin beer in September. I was going to wait to October.
And it's summer.
It's summer. It's like I'm sitting here enjoying a good pumpkin beer.
Right.
Oh, it is solid. Not overly done at all. You get a nice amount of the notes, as you mentioned there, Clint. You get that nutmeg, you get that cinnamon. It's got a nice refreshing quality to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth. I mean, it just slides right down the throat very nicely. Got that maple in there that adds to that texture. Wow. And I'm getting that is sometimes I talk to the guys like, you get some beers that kind of like go off that tongue, they lock it in your cheeks. You get a nice cheek tingling sensation taking place. It's locking in the flavors there. It's a beer like you can sit here and enjoy, but it's almost like you don't have to rush through it. There's no like dryness there, so you're actually still savoring things when you're not drinking, but you look forward to the next drink of it as well. So you just take your time with it, nice and easy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good there.
Yeah, it's got a low bitterness too. It's
low bitterness. No bitterness almost. I mean, it's so smooth.
Yeah, a lot of the bitterness that you perceive is actually probably from the spice blend that's added.
And so Joe says he called me a traitor because I'm drinking pumpkin in October.
Oh no! Your peers are trying to crucify you now.
And he says, "Oh, maple syrup." Now Clint is tugging at his heartstrings. And then Earth laughed at that. Cheers to Craft Beer Pours. That's Brandon. That's actually Trish's husband. So the Mrs. Craft Beer Pours. Now we got Craft Beer Pours. James says, so the maple is like a brewer's Easter egg. He's asking a question there. But you have it hidden in there. You have the maple hidden. You don't really get the maple coming through.
No.
So it's just there. It adds a little bit to that texture. So it is like hidden away.
Yeah, it's a clean fermenting fermentable. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't contribute much flavor to the beer.
But it just adds to that texture. It just gives that little bit of a smoothness there. And then Joe said he thinks the only other Scottish ale base he had for a pumpkin beer was from Ballast Point. I forgot the name of what it was, but it was solid. And then he says, cheers to Craft Beer Pours, who's in the house now. So, nice. But this is very smooth. And an easy pumpkin beer to definitely enjoy.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are getting carried away with like the ABVs on some of these pumpkin beers, doing these really high gravity ones. Yeah. I want people to like drink more than one. I don't want you to come in here and have one pint and leave.
And then you're done because it's so high. You're like,
no. There's not a whole lot of enjoyment from my end in drinking those kind of beers where I drink an 8% beer, a pint of it, and then I'm whacked, and I'm like, yeah, time to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I buy high gravity beers like that, I usually try to share them. You know what I mean? Because I want to drink more. I want to vibe. I want to taste all the stuff. You know, and I want to just have like one and be conked and then be gone. You know? Yeah. So. Yeah,
it's like if I have a Southern Tier Warlock, for instance.
Right.
That's usually gonna be the last night of the capper. Because I mean, once I get done with that, I'm done. So,
it's so there's so much spice into it. It's so sweet. It's kind of like it's not like a palate wrecker like as far as bitterness goes, but as far as flavor goes, it's it's definitely the one you should have at the end. Yeah.
And then Joe says. I'd imagine they fill growlers, but how about crowlers? Any beers they package, whether in can or bottles? So I know over here in the display you have stuff in the growlers. and then bottles as well.
No, actually,
Or is that other
that's just the wine. Yeah, wine case.
Oh,
We
that's
keep-
just the wine case.
Yeah,
Okay. But you get the growlers on
Yeah,
top.
we keep the growlers cold so that
Okay.
you get less fob, you get less foaming out when you.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, we're moving into some packaging. We do some seasonal packaging already on some stuff, but we actually just had tactics meetings last night, and we're getting some labels done. We're gonna start. We're gonna start packaging a lot more stuff.
Are you thinking of doing a crowler machine, or are you kind of looking to try to get cans done? Like
Eventually,
6 packs?
we're gonna end up getting a crowler machine, but we're working on some other stuff right now with our working capital.
Well, let me ask you this too, since you were talking, because you think about canning, maybe over bottling, or
we
looking at both
contract
ways?
can. We use a mobile canning unit. We actually can Hells.
okay.
So we'll be doing a canning run here, and probably within the next 60 days on that. But yeah, we're going to be doing some real fun one-off stuff, high gravity stuff. Where we'll be doing 375 Belgian style bottles, with a wax dip, and just some cool stuff to kind of like draw some people in, like lure people in. Some of those whale chasers that only drink whales.
Right.
We get those guys to come in here, maybe sit down and have a pint of a Hells.
Right.
You know what I mean, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, just have the other opportunity for that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next thing that we're bottling is actually it's chain dog. It's that Belgian Golden Strong.
Okay.
And it's we got some brandy barrels that we're aging in it. So
You're killing me here. That sounds so freaking good.
yeah, so we'll be doing that, and then after that we're doing a Rekindle, which is a beer they already do here. It's basically like a Mexican themed sort of imperial stout.
Okay.
So there's a blend of different peppers in there. There's some piloncillo, sugar, vanilla bean, just one of those beers that like you don't really get the spiciness up front.
Right.
But as you drink through the pint, it starts to build, and by the end you're like, holy shit, this beer's hot. So it kind of like creeps up on you, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we'll be doing some fun variants of that as well. So I'll be doing like a chili adobo sort of thing,
okay.
and some ones with some Mexican chocolate, and we'll be doing a few little variants that are going to be keg only, but we're going to do a big bottle run of those 375s I was telling you about, wax dip. It's actually a beer we do with the local firefighters union, and a portion of the beer's proceeds goes to fallen family of fallen firefighters. So
yeah, wow, that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Our one of our owners is actually an old fire chief. Yeah. So yeah, there's I can believe we got a fireman sitting right there. So there are a lot of firemen hang out here.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool.
we're
paying homage to those guys and letting them know we appreciate them and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, that's the one of the fun aspects of being in the craft beer community I've seen is just the local dedication to a lot of the local groups like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's firefighters, whether it's police, whether it's local charities or local nonprofits, it's just such a good community involvement. And so when people ask me, well, what's it matter if you're going to local or macro? Well, if you're talking about if you like the beer, that's one thing. But if you're going local, you know where those dollars are being spent and given out to your community.
The relationship's more community driven.
Exactly.
Sure,
that's one of the fun aspects of doing all of this, for sure. Yeah. And so not just in where I'm at in Cincinnati, up here in Toledo, they got a lot of good beer stuff going on too. Let me see here. Take a look at the comments. Joe had mentioned also the key to a good pumpkin beer, in his opinion, was a good base beer. Nothing worse than a mess of a base beer that is overspiced. Sounds like yours is something I would prefer. And knowing Joe's pal, Joe actually does. I do a live broadcast usually every Thursday night at 9 o'clock or 9:15 around that area called Beer Flow, and Joe's actually usually on it as a participant. So knowing his palate and everything along those lines, he would definitely dig this pumpkin beer for sure.
What do you guys use a plug-in that you're
I
able to like?
I go on the YouTube
pop
channel
up?
here, and we do a Google Hangout, and so it's me, it's Joe, it's Eric, who's actually Eric and Lions fan from his channel over here in Michigan. He's over in the Lansing area.
Oh, cool.
And then we have another guy, Todd, who's in Indiana. And
Okay.
so we all like log into it, and we all talk about beers. We talk about the beer news that week or beers we're drinking that time, and we never know where it's going to always end up on the show, but we
Sure.
always talk about beer and have some fun doing everything.
Cool.
So a lot of people that view will tune in on Thursday nights to see what we're talking about on beer and stuff too.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That's
yeah.
rad.
Yeah, but Joe, he's actually in the Buffalo area, so
Okay.
so he gets down. He gets out here.
He's deep in snow territory.
Yeah,
up there.
he's there. But he gets a lot of the Canadian beers too, because he's I guess like 10 or 15 minutes from the border or whatever. So he'll get
Sure.
over there and do some stuff there too.
Awesome.
And some of our Canadian guys that we're friends with, Red Beard's on here, but we have a few other Canadian people up there as well that he'll go up there and he'll interchange beers with them and they'll do some different things. So it's kind of cool just seeing all the different beers that are taking place and
Right,
stuff. Yeah.
right.
So, but Earth says, let me see here, tugging on my strings now. I'm talking about the maple and the pumpkin beer. And then Joe says brandy barrels. Okay, can we be put on a mailing list of some sort? Mexican stout. He said, for fuck's sake, tugging on everyone's heartstrings. So, yeah, there was a beer that I got from that party source I mentioned earlier. They had a thing that already had some Mexican beer in that was actually aged on brandy barrels. And I sent it to Joe, and I sent it to Eric, and I sent it to Todd. And they all loved it. It was one of the first beers we had where it was like aged on brandy.
Okay.
So now that you mentioned brandy, he's like, wait a minute, can I get some of that too? So
Yeah.
the whole brandy thing brings that another different level to the beer. So interest is definitely peaked for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting cask to use because it's already been used once for whiskey and then reused again.
Yeah.
So like the wood contribution is pretty mellow, but there's something about there's almost like a sherry floor to brandy already, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that obviously crossed over into the beer,
Yeah.
which is super interesting.
Yeah.
I like
What do
it.
you think about over barreling? And I mean by that, there's some things that people will barrel just to barrel, it seems. And it's like, you didn't even need to barrel this type of style. Like I've seen some of the barrels like IPAs. And it's like, you didn't really need to barrel. I mean, do you see that out there? Do you see you wonder why are you even barreling?
Yeah, a
You
lot
don't
of people
need
are
that.
actually talking about how the IPA that Founder just released that's barrel aged is shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, man, I really would have liked this
Just not
through
in
the barrel
type situation.
Yeah. I see a lot of people comment on that sort of thing, but this is another one of those things where I really don't try to delve too deep in my it's. I haven't had it. I don't really got much comment about it, but you do see a lot of that where people are maybe not.
Yeah, I haven't had it either, so I don't really.
Yeah,
for sure
you'll a lot of people will put stuff in the barrel almost. It seems like sometimes for the sake of just saying that it's a barrel aged beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
But
to each their
sometimes
own.
it's kind of like, I've had some IPAs where it's like, do you really need to barrel this? It's kind of like, it was already decent as it was. You're trying to put the barrel out there because it gets that barrel name on the bottle.
Yeah,
whatever you get
I don't
people
know if the flavor contributions lend well to each other.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
It's apparently people are interested in it. It sells, so
Yeah. But does it
Whatever
sell
floats
again?
their
It's a
boat.
question. You
Right.
sell it to one person, then they come back and buy it again.
Sure.
Or do you find out you got a dud on your hands, and then you
Right.
end up, stores are just trying to discount it to get it off their shelves
Yeah,
at that point, too.
yeah.
So, again, it's all about making that good beer.
right.
Earth is basically saying road trip. With the Earth made a road trip here from San Diego, that'd be one hell of a road trip.
Yeah, well, plenty of stops on the way and back. That's for sure.
Let's see here. Joe says, yeah, there's 5 feet of snow on the ground. Nah, not yet. Give it a few days. So, Joe, you can have snow up there already. I don't know where Joe's talking about snow, but yeah. But so which beer do we want to try next here?
So let's go up top right here. This is the Pale Rider. So that's an American IPA.
Are you ahead of me now? You drink yours? Okay.
No. It's sitting right here. Yeah,
So this is the Pale Rider IPA.
Another. I don't know if you guys see that. Another clear. That's clear IPA.
Yeah, clear IPA. Craig, they have clear IPAs here. Oh, nice resin presence.
Yeah, so this is more or less just like a hot burst sort of IPA.
Okay.
There's very little there's very little bittering charge.
Right.
Just late hops. It's all like 15 minutes after, like big amounts of Citra, Equinox, Cascade. And then those same varieties are dry hopped as well. So,
Nice stickiness to it.
Yeah. The Equinox. Well, it's Equinox.
Yeah.
Now it's been rebranded as Equinox.
Not Equinox anymore?
It's Equinox. But it's yeah, the Citra Cascade Equinox blend is it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the words of Snoop Dogg, it's got that sticky, icky.
Yeah, there's no yeah. There's pretty much no cohumulone in this too, so there's none of that there's none of that tenacious sort of like really long lingering bitterness in the back end. So
a little bit of a floral presence.
Yeah,
in there too.
yeah. It finishes super clean. Yeah. So there, it's got all the citrus, the grapefruit. It's got a little bit of that dank. A little bit of that. As you mentioned about the sticky icky. It's definitely got some sticky icky notes in there. So yeah, I like this beer a lot. This is something they were doing before I got here, and I have no intention on changing it at all. It's pretty solid beer.
A little bit of syrupy type feel.
Yeah, it's
good.
good.
It slides down.
Yeah, it's
leaves a good amount of duration of flavor though.
So it's just it's got some carapils in there for a little bit of body. Crystal 20, so it's more like it's just kind of like sweetness and not a caramelly-ness to the beer. And then there's a blend of Canadian Pilsner malt for the Canadians out there, and also Canadian 2-row.
Okay. Excellent.
So you got a little bit of that graininess going on there as well. So.
Now, one thing I noticed about this one versus some of the other ones, and not just here, but like I got a nice little bit of the beer on the roof of the mouth too. So it's kind of like really gets around the mouth nicely.
Yeah.
It's kind
it got a nice even coat all the way around, right? Yeah.
Great mouth coating experience.
Yeah, a little bit of candiness, a little bit of pininess in there too.
It's kind of funny as I'm sitting here thinking and drinking, right? I'm like, I'm off today. I mean, you're here, you're working, but you're having fun. All these people are watching. I'm like, wait a minute, are you guys all watching at work right now? Like, 'cause I know I'm off today.
Yeah, it took an early Friday.
Yeah, maybe other people are taking a 3-day weekend too. So.
I'm on 410s, man. I had the day off.
Oh, that is good. That is tasty. Get a little bit of that in the throat as well. But it does have that nice break from the initial to the finish, where it has that smoothness on the back end, where it's not too bitter, and it just pretty much goes down the throat.
Yeah, it's more like a new school sort of IPA. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's that sort of classic IPA. It's definitely a little more new school. So. A little, it's a nice myriad of tropical and citrus and cattiness and pininess and dankness. Yeah. It's really got it all in there.
It does have it all in there pretty much, yeah. And then let's see here. No, Joe says I don't know why Joe made the snow comment earlier though, but he said literally 87 degrees out, so no snow. Joe says clear beer. The Haysboros will not be pleased. Earth says the Haysboros need to settle down. Joe says, from what I recall, a brewery in Colorado called Equinox Brewery sent a cease and desist to the Equinox hop producers, so they changed it to Equinox. Is that what you kind of heard there too?
Thanks for the lesson of the day there, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And then Joe says, hey, which he did have a dentist appointment, he said earlier, so the afternoon is free, baby. He did have a dentist appointment earlier, so he's all good to go there. So, but yeah, this is nice. This has everything you would kind of expect to have, and again, that smoothness on the back end makes it a really decent IPA.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys get a lot of people that come in here? The growlers, they use the growler sales and stuff like that and everything?
Yeah, a lot of growler sales. Yeah, we go through a lot of growlers.
Because I wonder, like, for me...
We'll fill other people's growlers, too. We're not growler snobs. Like, we only fill our own growlers. Well, I'm not going to fill... I hate when I go to somebody's there. I got
do you have places up there that do that, though, like, kind of? Like, they'll...
Oh, yeah.
Really? Because Cincinnati, you don't pretty much fill anybody's growler.
Yeah, I mean, why are you going to cannibalize your own... beer sale because you don't want to fill somebody else's glass. Yeah. If I go somewhere with my growler and they're not going to fill it, I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to pick a growler up. Deuces.
Right.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And I'm out. Yeah. I'm on to the next brewery who's going to fill my growler.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. The last time I had that happen to me, I was honestly like a little perturbed because I really wanted this beer. It was like batch 1000 when I was at I was in Columbus at Barley's Smokehouse.
Oh, that was the one down on High Street, right?
No, that's the OG one.
Okay.
The other one's like I think in the south end.
Okay.
I'm not.
Because I've been to the one on High Street before.
Yeah, that place is dope.
Yeah.
They make a lot of really awesome sort of like I don't know English inspired beers.
And that's like the only one I've seen a brewery where they had like a cask brew. Because they have a cask keg there. It's the only place I think I've seen something around here.
Go over to Ernest.
They got the cask one over there
Today
too?
they'll have one.
Okay.
They'll have one and it'll kick pretty quick too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Thursdays. I'm sorry.
It's Thursdays. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got some casks. I haven't really had a chance. The last brewery I worked at now up in Ann Arbor, Grizzly Peak, we did tons of cask ale. You know, we had the beer engines. And,
right.
Yeah, we did a lot of cask ales. So I'm gonna start doing that again.
Like Craig that was ordering for Kent Beer Reviews, obviously he's in the UK, so he goes to a lot of places where they have cask beer over there too.
I heard it's still kind of like a rare thing over there. Yeah,
he seems to find it a place. I mean, if Craig is still watching, he may comment on it, but usually he'll make mention where he's got beer on cask over there in certain spots.
You can't beat a good cask.
Good seeing you, buddy.
All right, buddy. Yep, be good.
All right.
It's one of those things that when I was there before, I didn't try it on cask, but I do want to try it at some point just because I've heard how different it is to try it on.
It's texturally different. I don't know. It's the beer has less bite because you don't have less carbonic acid in it from forced carbonation.
Okay.
And they just seem like a lot lighter on the palate, and they're texturally different. You know what I mean? It's just like just the same thing as like bottle conditioned beers. They're texturally different. It's something about the amount of CO2 in there that I don't know, I seem to enjoy it more than if I go somewhere and there's X beer and then X beer that's on cask. I'm gonna go for the cask option every time. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's something good to know there. Let me see here. He said, Joe says, quite a few breweries who won't fill growlers. That's not theirs. Incredibly stupid. Way to make money, idiot. Way to not make money, idiot. So in Cincinnati, a lot of them, anyone I've been to has always they'll refill anybody. They don't care. I mean, it's pretty friendly along those lines. But I guess different breweries are making that decision. But yeah, I think it does hurt them. He said, that said, there are a few states like Massachusetts where the laws prevent them from filling growlers that aren't their own. So I didn't realize that as well. So that might have changed.
Archaic laws.
Yeah. So if he's talking Massachusetts and like craft beer pours, if you guys know anything on it, let us know because they're in Massachusetts. They're in Boston, so they may know as well if that's the case there too. But if you got a growler, I would think you want to refill it to get your beer out there so people can actually check it out.
Why would you refuse a sale because someone doesn't want to buy your glass?
Right. Yeah. And then Craig says, got to go. Cheers, Clinton Rod. We'll catch the rest on the run. Cheers all. Thanks, Craig, for hanging in there. So Craig is actually 5 hours ahead of us, so it's like 7:34 over there. But catch up with you soon, brother.
Craig
Thank
is
you.
the guy in England?
He's in England, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so he's we got a few guys over there. It's Craig, and then we have like Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews that we hang out and we'll talk with, and we'll have Peter, the Clueless Drinker. We got Harry, Blue Nose Beer Reviews. So we got a few guys over there that kind of chime in on some of the stuff taking place there, and some of them get some of the American beers depending on where they're located at. So Evil Twins got a presence over there, Founders, a few of the other breweries. So
great.
It's kind of funny because they'll get beers. I'm like, how do you get that beer? And I can't get it here in my area.
Right.
It's a distribution process.
It is.
It's that whole distribution.
It's how things are allocated and they're sent to. Sure.
Yeah. So let's see here. So we want to go for which one is the next one here?
That's going to be this one, the Harvest Ale.
Oh, yeah, hit that thing. You say cancel. I don't know why it keeps doing it, but sorry if the video keeps freezing. This is
our first for this place. They've never done a wet hop IPA. So.
Oh, this is the wet hop IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just classic, dude.
Oh.
It's the 4 C's there. It's got Chinook.
Oh, that aroma smells really good.
It's got Chinook, Cascade, Columbus, and Centennial. And like I said, the hops were
2.5 weeks old or something you said?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. Well, so not this last Wednesday, but the Wednesday prior to that, it was when it was tapped.
Okay.
So yeah, we worked with a local hop farm, Turkey Foot. They're actually one of the owner's cousins.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to be able to work with them on this. And one of the owner, Bob Hall, he actually went out there and helped tear down the vines with his family and their workers.
Right.
And they hand picked all these hop cones, dude.
Wow.
They dropped them off that night. So that all happened in the evening, and then that next morning they were in the kettle. So,
yeah.
You know, less than 18 hours later, this thing was in the can, and it's delicious.
And this is the fresh hopped American IPA
Yep.
made with Henry County Centennial hops. Okay.
Right.
So
Yep.
this one has an ABV of 6.7.
Yep.
But for those of you that are watching here, the best I can describe is like the aroma is like pretty much like you were pretty much outside on the vine line. It's that fresh. Like you feel when you smell the aroma on this one, it's almost like you're sitting out there pulling the hop vines as fresh as they come.
Yep. You
I
nailed
mean,
it there.
it's almost like you're right standing there pulling these off of the hop vine.
It's got an intense aroma, and it's and then you know it's kind of like where the Pale Rider doesn't have that like kind of lingering bitterness. This one does. You know?
Yeah.
So
that is.
And that's from the Chinook. It's got that high cohumulone content in there, so it's nice. There's no crystal malt. There's no crystal malt in it. It's got a real super dry finish. It's actually just Carapils, Avant-Garde was a German Pilsner malt, and then Canadian two-row barley.
Nice.
So, and that's it. Just Munich, basically just 3 base malts. Oh, and a little bit of midnight wheat, and that's how we get that little darker color. It's it's more like a burnished copper sort of color. So
wow.
But this is nice, dude. This is what.
It's really good. It's pretty damn solid.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, when we did the tapping of it, this place was like balls to the walls, packed front to back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty intense. I've never seen that many people in the brewery.
So you get a lot of people that when you do a new brewery, like a new beer for the brewery, that line up like crazy to get the new. Are you kind of getting that kind of mayhem and stuff here?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like this isn't a huge place. We got a 200 person capacity, but we'll usually get a solid number of 50 between 150. Like that night, it was this place is packed. It was like being at a rock concert, shoulder to shoulder. I've never seen anything like that. It was really cool because we were able to work with that farm, and so they were basically there's a lot of cross promotion going on there between their industry and our industry,
right?
And they actually had other hop farmers out that are just getting into the hop game. That just so I don't know. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
To meet all these people and meet the families and talk. I mean, they drove from far away too. Henry County is over an hour away, so there was a lot of the people that were out there from west towards the Indiana border drove all the way out here for that. So yeah, it was really well received, and it's going super fast.
Yeah.
So
no, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on this, dude. This turned out great, and it's another clear IPA.
you can come here to Black Cloister and you can still get clear IPAs.
I'm gonna keep plugging it. I'm old school.
Not all
keep
IPAs are
clear
hazy.
IPAs.
Not all are hazy.
Yeah.
And then Joe had made a comment talking about the growler, like it's a damn reusable glass bottle. Basically, makes absolutely no sense. So again, wherever you put your growler, just fill it the growler and refill it. It's not really big of a deal. Oh, this is a nice one. I like the freshness of it.
Doesn't get any fresher in it.
Yeah. Which the funny thing with the whole IPA thing is the whole freshness thing, right? So you look at the IPA and the history of IPA.
And they were
it wasn't really
aged.
It was really by design. You weren't drinking it as fresh,
right?
Because you were shipping it, and the whole history going back to when it was sent to the colonies that were in India at the time. It's kind of like you weren't drinking it, but now it's like the whole thing is we want to get as fresh as we can. It's just funny how it just changed that whole thing. And too, it's like some guys will be like, "Well, I can't drink this IPA." Like I've had IPAs before that I forgot, like might have been sour or whatever. And I might drink it a year later, and it's still a good beer a year later. It's just not as fresh as what it would have been, but it would be like how it would have been back then as well.
Yeah,
You know, you
a
would
lot of
have
that
poured it from the cellar.
obtuseness, a lot of that tangential sort of thing disappears, and a lot of the coarseness disappears.
Yeah.
Discernible bitterness drops off. You know, I was reading something about, I'm a big fan of Three Floyds. So, I kind of follow them a lot. And Nick Floyd was talking about how, if an IPA isn't good 3 months later, then it probably never was a good IPA. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's probably more along the lines of, originally what an IPA was. You're not drinking that beer until 3-4 months later from its its packaging date by the time it got out to the colony. So,
Well, the funny thing is, all these breweries that'll push out there, drink fresh, and it's kind of like, well, your brewery it should still be solid when you do get it. Later on. Like I said, I've had some that were 6 months. I've had some even a year out before that were still pretty decent, and you still did get a hop presence in it. But it wasn't as bitter as if it would have been fresh, but it was still a good beer.
Right.
So it's just funny.
Have you ever had Bigfoot like right when they release it?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it just tastes like a really gnarly
it's
double
raw.
IPA.
It's raw at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you let it sit for half a year.
Yeah.
And now it's nice and smooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It loses a lot of that like I said, that sort of that coarse harshness that it has.
Yeah, I've actually got a ginger Bigfoot right now in the cellar too. And I got a
ginger.
Yeah, the ginger Bigfoot. Yeah.
What?
I was blew Clint's mind. You just saw it.
I didn't even know about that one.
I got a ginger Bigfoot that's actually sitting in the cellar right now. I need to still drink at some point.
When did they release that?
I got that back in, I want to say like around January or so.
Okay. Cool. I didn't know they even did such a thing.
It's just I got so many different beers in the cellar right now. I'm trying to get through them, and it's, you want to drink them, enjoy them, and for me, talk about them and stuff. So I don't want to rush through them and stuff. But it's just like so many breweries come out with so many releases. Like I want to get this one, I want to get that one. Next thing you know,
right.
You're down there. It's like you're not a hoarder, but you're getting damn close to being a hoarder. You start looking around like I got a lot of beer here.
I've been there. I've been there, man.
Yeah. And at one point, I did drain my cellar out where I wasn't buying for a while and finished all the beer. Now again, I'm back. I got like 140 beers I think in the cellar right now that I'm working through, either in the cellar or in my cooler. And it's just like I got a lot of beers here, so
you got a lot of work to do, my friend.
A lot of work to do. One of our guys that watches Drunken One, he's out of Austin, Texas. He's volunteered to move into my basement and help me alleviate the problem. So
of course,
yeah,
of course.
But
yeah, free room and board, free dank beers.
Yeah. And then I just think he's popping up one more time here. Joe says, clear IPAs, I'm not familiar. Is this 2010? Why can't I see through the glass and the smiley face? It's funny to see now, especially with New England IPAs, some of them are way too fresh and astringent. Some of them taste way better, a few months old. And he said they did a wine barrel aged with raspberries, variant of Bigfoot. Never had it, but sure would like to try it. Yeah, so Bigfoot, they've been experimenting with it. So, yeah.
I think you don't even have to taste that beer to know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I picked up one from Dogfish Head that was Dogfish Head had one that was red wine barrel too. I haven't drank it yet, but that's also in the basement too. So I'm seeing more breweries starting to experiment with the wine barrels. So it's kind of funny. But then I also see, some of the whiskey companies now going to the craft beer stuff too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've had any of those. Like for instance, the Jameson. I had the IPA barrel Cask made.
Mm-hmm.
Not really too much of the IPA quality kick over. I mean, it's still a good Irish whiskey, so I was fine there. But I just did their stout made version, which I'm going to update at some point here as well. Didn't get overly done with a lot of that as well as the stout either, but it's kind of funny just seeing them trying to go down the other way.
Right.
So it's kind of funny to see these companies start to
Are you
work
familiar
together.
with New Holland?
Yes.
New Holland. Okay, so yeah, they do
Am I familiar?
They've got their bourbon line.
Yeah.
So they got the beer barrel bourbon.
Yeah.
So they're taking I think Zeppelin, I think maybe it was one of their bourbons they do, doing the first run with the barrels of that, and then they're taking those barrels
and then they're putting dragon's milk in it. Okay, and then they're taking those barrels, they're emptying the dragon's milk out, and then they're doing the beer barrel bourbon in that, and so they're getting they're getting 3 uses out of these barrels. So
yeah.
And dude, it is like definitely one of the best bourbons I ever had in my life.
Really?
It's just super unique, you know what I mean? There's that discernible chocolatiness that you get from whatever residual things that are left over from the stout in the bourbon barrel, and it's just super awesome. While you're up in the area, you should probably snag a bottle and take it back down. Yeah, $39, so you can't beat it, man.
Try to find these things. Well, they got one at New Holland that's actually doing the dragon's milk, which is like a coconut version.
Yeah, the reserve.
Earmuffs, Joe, coconut.
And a banana.
Yeah.
They do a banana one, too.
Yeah, the banana, yeah. So Joe, that's watching the Beer Patrol, he's a big thing for coconut. So
you just missed it. I had a toasted coconut bourbon vanilla bean version of the Mccool.
Oh,
you just missed it.
Yeah.
It's super awesome.
Missed it by that.
Yeah, you missed it by about a week. Yeah, and you also just that brute. I did roasted organic grapefruit version of that. So that was really awesome too.
So let's see. Joe says that's the greatest thing about beer nowadays. Literally something for everyone. One classic styles got you. One creativity and outside the box got you. So awesome. He asked if it was a Bananas Foster coconut. Help me. 210 Brewing's in the house. Welcome 210. 21090 Brewing. They actually do some brewing there as well. Cheers. And he said, "What's up?" And then Joe might not meet his fitness goal today, Irv said. So. But Joe made mention of the. So he made mention of Bananas Foster. So we had the Beer Fest down in Cincinnati. We actually had a Great American Ballpark where the Reds played a few weeks ago in September, early September, and one of the beers came from Platform, which Platform's been kind of blowing up and stuff.
Blowing up, and they're doing all their own distro.
Have you had the Bananas Foster from there?
No.
Oh, and it was funny thing is, actually, you couldn't have it yet because they brought it down there, and it's not been canned because there's something with it that they only can do it, and they're doing it in a small batch. It was kind of cool. They brought it down, and it was in a guitar keg system. So they had basically a keg system made out of this guitar where it pours out through the guitar, and the guitar is autographed by Foreigner on the guitar, which is pretty slick. But they had this Bananas Foster beer that was like freaking blowing our heads away, kind of, and everything like that. But they're doing so many different things with there. They're actually putting in a tasting room in Cincinnati right now. So we're getting them down there as well. But just the stuff they're doing for their creativity as well. So when Joe made Bananas Foster, he saw that we were having a Bananas Foster beer there too, which it's just amazing some of the different things you're walking into. I did a review last night that Joe sent me a beer from Westbrook Brewing that I uploaded out of South Carolina, but it was their key lime pie goes. So just having it tasted like you get that key lime pine type flavor. It's just, that's what you got to love about craft beer. All these different things that are being put in and stuff. So it's kind of crazy. It's like back in the day, like potato chips or Ruffles, all these different type of potato chips they were coming out with. Like craft beer's got, you think about maple bacon and putting a bourbon in with it?
Yeah, there's so many culinary. There's so
much
much culinary inspired beer out there. It's pretty rad.
Yeah. So many good things that are happening.
Yeah, definitely not short on ideas, and definitely not short on people actually executing.
No.
And cheers to Platform, man. Those guys are killing the game, dude.
Yeah. Talking with them, they have a lot of good stuff happening there, and they let me know some of the different stuff they were at planning and stuff coming up. So I think their tap room in Cincinnati is supposed to be in October that it's opening down there.
Mm-hmm. Do you know whereabouts?
It's downtown. I know it's downtown somewhere. So yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. So I'll check them out down there as well, but. Ohio is one of those states that has just so many different things happening. We talk about, from my perspective in Cincinnati, the different things. It's like a hidden gem, right? But then, not just there, across the state of Ohio, there's so many different things happening in beer that people aren't aware of. Mm-hmm. People are taking these beer caches now when they go out and travel and find out.
Right.
Ohio should be right there on your map with some of the different stuff. Whether you're up here in Toledo, whether you're in Dayton, or you're in Columbus or Cincinnati. There's people out in Akron that are doing things. All across the state, there's just so much beer action taking place. I mean, it's kind of a great time to be in this area. So
it is.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the up and up, man.
Yeah.
new breweries open every day is what it seems like.
Yeah, almost every day. And,
Yeah.
and people worry about the craft beer bubble, and I'm like, honestly, we're not seeing as much here where I'm at or across the state. We have some breweries that, maybe they run into something they do close, but then another one buys them up that quickly.
Sure.
So we have like
For every one that closes, another one opens.
Yeah. So in Cincinnati, we have Blake Slade Brewing, and they make good beers, but I think with them, they were kind of off the beaten path, so people didn't really know where they were. They were kind of like almost like in a warehouse type area. They didn't have the community behind them.
No foot traffic.
So I think that kind of took
Right.
place. But then all their people got hired to other breweries. The guy that ran that ends up going to Mad Tree to become one of their brewers, I believe. And it's almost like when they do fail, they almost land on their feet in a lot of situations.
Sure. Yeah.
We had 8 Ball Brewing in Newport, which was at the Party Source. They kind of ran into a thing. They were under new rift.
They do have a brewery inside that.
We did, right. So
crap.
8 Ball used to be there distilling. New Riff had to make a decision if they wanted to keep that going or make a change. If they kept it going, it was going to cost them like $20 million to do so.
Oof.
They decided to cut it, not do it. Like almost all their people got hired up, but what ended up happening, Braxton Brewing came in and bought the location. So now they have like Braxton Labs that's there that does a lot of small batch brewing. So when we see people like maybe fall, we're seeing other people get picked up again.
Sure.
So there's a lot of stuff happening that's great around the whole area on the whole thing with the beer. We have like 60 breweries on my list I have in Cincinnati. I got to update to add more to it.
There's 60 breweries
between Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and somewhere if you count in like Southwest or Southeast Indiana,
right?
And then you go up probably to not even going to Dayton, but just going a little bit outside Cincinnati, kind of in that radius.
Sure.
You have like 60 different breweries plus right now.
Jeez, that's a nice area to be living in.
Yeah,
right
exactly. So we have a ton of breweries going on. We have a ton of action going on. And so when people say beer bubbles, like I don't even see it. And that's not counting if you go down 71 to Louisville. You got Against the Grain and some of the stuff there. You can jump over to Indiana. You got 450 and all these other breweries. Or if you go to Lexington, you got West 6. You have all these ones, Alltech, all of them around there. You have so many different breweries around. It's almost like I don't see where we are in a position where the bubble may burst as of yet. I see communities becoming more involved with their breweries, and that's what's helping along those lines.
Right. Well, yeah, you got everybody that's supporting them locally, but I can't help but remember what happened in the late 2000s and early 2000s.
Yeah, with the bubble and everything.
But here's the thing. A lot of those breweries are making really shitty beer.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
Exactly.
They were making garbage beer.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people got turned off of craft beer.
Yeah.
Right away from their first introduction.
Right.
So, we've moved past that. There's a resurgence. But I still can't not think about that. You know what I mean? What did happen?
I think at some point you may have a saturation.
I think we're getting pretty close.
I just don't think we're gonna have a bubble. Yeah, I think there's a saturation, and that's why you're having people come in like AB and Bev and Miller Coors. They're absorbing some of these other companies and like that. But I think at the same point, you have enough stuff out there, you're going to still drive good stuff for the craft beer industry.
Precisely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. So, you're always going to have like a contraction. I mean, that's just business in itself. Yep. You have a lot of stuff
that's
out
ebb and
there.
flow of market.
Right. So that's simple business market principles along those lines. But right now, to be a beer lover, you're freaking at a golden revolution. I mean, you're just enjoying it. I mean, it's great, and I love that a lot of breweries are bringing back like the old styles of beers as well to help them stand out a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, you bringing back the one that you have here. Companies that bring back like the Schwartz beers or the Rouse beers or some of these other different versions that people never really heard of and get to experience that. That's awesome. That just tells more of the beer story and everything. So that's why I enjoy when I go out here and I do like the videos where I do the beer blog and I tell these different things. And that's what the fun part that I have with it and everything. You know? It's like it's all like pretty much a hobby as far as what I do, but it's kind of like starting to evolve even more than that and everything. And just being able to tell that story and be a part of it. I think, people that follow the beer community and know things like, the stuff that Michael Jackson had done before he had died, as far as, and again, to the people that don't know Michael Jackson, the beer person, not the performer. But,
I knew you were talking, yeah.
Some people are like, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Lee came out of left field with Michael Jackson.
I thought he was just doing moonwalking.
The king of pop?
But, he told a good story. He opened up a door. And other people want to know about it. And you look on things like on TV, sadly, with like Anthony Bourdain or whatever, he got a lot of interest from people that watch his stuff because he would also do a lot of drinking and stuff like that on the show and talk about different beers, about different communities.
Sure.
There's the beers, brews, and barbecue that people are watching on TV and different other type of stories. So it's kind of like a great story to actually tell, and people don't realize how much.
Michael Simons.
Is that the one that does the beer, brews, and barbecue?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
a guy from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Michael Simons. Yeah. Well, whatever that is. Yeah.
But there's a lot of stories wrapped around beer that people just don't know. It's a fun topic to talk about. I mean, beer goes back to how much in history do we know?
A lot of history.
George Washington had a brewery at the White House. So, or in his oral and his whatever it had, his land or whatever. But beer is just like that ultimate come together conversation thing that you have there when you have a good time. So I have fun telling it and doing it and everything, and my like journalism and marketing and all kind of stuff. So for me, it's kind of easy to kind of make that transition. It's like you go through like what do
I wondered.
do, you know?
I wonder what you might have done before this.
Yeah, I mean, in life, what I do now, I work in the financial industry, but my understudy or my degree was journalism and marketing, and you always wonder about stuff where you can tell a story that how you want to tell it, and beer has been that great opener for me. But I've got to have to meet people like you and other people in the industry and be able to tell that. It's been great, so I definitely appreciate you taking time and stuff like that. So it's a fun thing for
Likewise.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And then, and Martin Coleman stopped by, said, cheers, guys. Wanted to say hi, and thank you, Martin, for swinging by here as well. 21090 Brewing, getting ready to brew some more beers for Oktoberfest party next month. So that'll be something they got going on there. 21090 from Joe said, didn't leave any comments, but watched his Def Leppard and live stream recently. Great stuff. You guys keep it up. And I actually did watch that as well. So great stuff. They were at the Def Leppard performance concert with their beers and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Well. 21090 is doing some good stuff brewing. He said thanks for watching as well. Really appreciate it. It's so funny. I got Clint working the phone now, so you guys don't get blocked out here. So, Joe says he's been to Cleveland, the platform in Cleveland back in 2014 and 15 before they kind of blew up. They were making some good stuff back then, and really enjoy their current offers too. So, Joe has been able to sample their stuff, and I actually sent some of the beers up to Joe where he's in Buffalo from platform too. It was one thing we tried to share different beers from different areas and hopefully get guys exposure and stuff like that too. So I was able to get them in areas where maybe they're not in there because of the distribution. So we go ahead and get that in other people's hands so they can tell that story too and everything. And then people start saying, when can I get this beer? It's like, we're working on it. So, so this
Are you ready for the big boy?
This is the big boy here.
That's the big boy. That's the Icon Russian Imperial Stout.
All right, so this is the Icon Russian Imperial Stout, which is
near opaque.
10% ABV.
Yeah, you can barely see a little bit of light creeping right through there on the edge.
Yeah. So there's a look at the Icon right there. So it's definitely
pitch
nice
black.
And dark. Yeah, pretty much. Good malt aroma off of it.
Oh yeah.
Chocolate.
Roasts, chocolate. Lots of roasts, lots
Coffee.
of chocolate malt. Yeah, it comes. You get a little bit of licorice notes in there.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of the higher alcohol notes too. There's a little ethyl,
Yeah.
Not like gasoline or anything like
No.
that. But you smell it. You can definitely smell alcohol.
You can definitely smell the alcohol.
Yeah.
Got the booziness in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the taste, I'm getting that good coffee feel, almost like that coffee ground type feel. And that's even a good duration as well.
Yeah, it's not overly thick, overly
chocolate.
sweet.
No, it's not.
No, it's not overly thick, overly sweet. There's nothing cloying about it.
Doesn't really have that much of a coffee bitterness on it either.
No, the back end bite definitely doesn't have it. It's got a lot of roast and it's got a decent amount of chocolate, but there's also some Black Prince in there.
Yeah.
So that's that dehusked black malt it's able to add that color and not add that
You get that nice
bitterness.
black. I get that black licorice in there.
There's definitely
Which is funny because
some sort of like anise sort of licorice flavor in there. Mm-hmm.
Which is funny is I drink some of these and more as I get into some of the barley wines as a kid and even today.
That's weird.
Like I would hate black licorice. But in some of these beers, I'm fine with it. It's just funny how.
Yeah, because there's a subtlety to it, you know, and a balance in there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you get a pint, it's got a nice off-white, almost brown head on it too.
Yeah.
You can kind of see a little bit of in the lacing there.
Yeah. But I tried to hold up the camera. It was paused there for a second, but yeah, you can see that there.
Yeah, this is like the nightcap beer for me. It's a nice sipper, you know.
Lights out beer.
Yeah, and it's nice because we waited last and it's warmed up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's open that up.
Getting the feel of that cheek action as well. So definitely feeling it up in the cheek area. Good duration of the flavor.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now I started and I don't want to stop.
Yeah, well, that can happen sometimes.
It's Rodney's fault.
Wow, that is good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that
Smoothness
lingering
to
coffee
it.
flavor in there
Yeah.
too, you know. I still taste coffee in my mouth right now.
Yeah. And then Joe says, all right, guys, need to take off and do a few things before the day over. We'll watch this part later on. Clint, thanks for stopping by and sharing the knowledge with us. Brother, cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, appreciate you.
Yeah, so gotta love the beer community.
Dude, the best people, man.
Yeah.
The best people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met some of the best people being in the industry. Just just wholehearted people that are super passionate about it like me, and it's great, man.
It's kind of amazing on some of the stuff you get around beer. It's kind of like, so the course of the day, what I do, to pay the bills, like I work in the financial industry, but people will find out, like I blog and I talk about craft beer, and they're like, oh, okay, so what beer do you like? So what beer do you really enjoy? What do you think about it? It's like,
right.
Well, it just changes the whole thing. Like you'll find people that just love to find out more about beer. It's kind of been a phenomenon taking place.
Yeah, it's a good conversation starter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Situation might be stuffy, and then you find out that you and the other individual both enjoy craft beer, like you said.
Yeah.
The whole demeanor changes. So
it just changes all of a sudden.
oh man, well, let's talk about beer.
Did you guys anything? Are you hungry yet?
I'm gonna get a chicken barbecue pizza. He said that's pretty good too, right?
Yeah.
Do you want thick or thin?
From Jersey originally, so thin.
Okay. Garlic butter?
What's garlic butter for?
Put garlic butter on the crust.
Is that something they do here? Is that
Oh, it's
good?
awesome.
I'll try the garlic butter.
Highly recommended.
I usually take it and flip it and you fold it. That's how you do it in the Northeast. So
You're like a sandwich.
Yeah,
Two slices.
exactly.
Yeah. When I do that, people look at me like, that's the smartest thing I've ever seen anybody do.
Do I want bacon on it? Is bacon too? Yeah. Throw bacon on it.
Anything else at the moment?
I think I'm good right now. So yeah, bacon definitely. Like who doesn't want bacon?
I want bacon on everything.
Surprised there isn't a bacon cereal out there.
Yeah. So the weirdest thing I ever had that had bacon in it, it was they were stuffed strawberries. So it had mascarpone cheese.
Yeah.
And stuffed in it, and then it had candied bacon bits on top, and a stuffed like a quarter strawberry, and I was like, that can't be good.
Right.
It was one of the best flavor combinations I've ever had in my life, man. That creaminess from the cheese and that sweet baconiness. It's like candied with maple.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
But it's funny because Trish is on here, who's Mrs. Craft Beer Pours, and she says, oh my God, you're still at it? She's like, you guys have been a good deal of time. Now, if you ever watch a craft beer pour stream, they'll go like 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm like, wait a minute, we're at it? You guys go a lot longer than us. Yeah, we've been talking some pretty good stuff here, Trish, though. So, but it's definitely some good beers here, and we've been enjoying it and having a good time, and really appreciate Clint's time here as well. And this one here, so this is
That's the Harvest Ale.
Which one is it? Oh, that's the other one.
That's the wet. It's the wet hop IPA. It's just a full.
Oh,
full
it's a full. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
figured
Okay.
I'd
Cool.
I'd get you a pint if you wanted.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
That'll go well with the pizza.
Yeah, we'll definitely go good with the pizza.
Yeah. So I just actually ordered their barbecue chicken pizza with bacon. So that'll be good. And
Thin crust.
Thin crust, because you got to be able to hold
Garlic butter on the crust.
Yeah, I'm going to find out about this whole garlic butter thing.
It's a thing in Toledo. It's like everybody puts garlic butter on pizzas.
But the key thing is holding it and folding it. Anybody in the Northeast will agree with me. The way you eat a pizza is to actually
hold and fold.
The hold and fold. You got to be hold it and fold it, and that's how you eat a pizza.
Oh no, you're talking about on a single slice.
Yeah.
I've seen people where they take the tip, they'll kind of tip that back, and then they'll fold up the edges. And then nothing falls off your pizza.
Well, yeah, you got to have it. Yeah, you got to fold it all up. Yeah,
right,
I mean that's how you eat a pizza. That's how we learned.
Right. No, I was taking two slices of pizza.
That's a good idea too. Now Paul, who's PA Brew News, he does that. He'll slap two together, make it with one slice. Yeah,
people look at
you
me
are
like,
his soulmate. But yeah, you got to be able to hold it and fold it. I mean, deep dish is okay, but you're using
on
utensils.
Thin crust, you got to do
pizza.
fold.
You don't need utensils. So yeah. But cool.
Well, appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. Thanks for sitting down with us in a while. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's awesome. I appreciate you taking time with me today and everything. And we'll get this up there and circulate it. And there'll be other people that'll see it because most people are at work, but we get a lot of people that watch at nighttime and stuff. And
do you got your channel on your card?
Yeah, my card has all the different channels and stuff.
Excellent,
so
excellent. Cool.
Yeah. So I'll link that all in there, and then if you want to send me anything, let me know, and I'll send you the link to it. But it'll be on the channel here, Rajay BeerVentures.
Yeah, we'll share it on the website, and we'll share it, or I'm sorry, on our Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll share it, and I'll let all owners know you came in here, and you're helping us cheerlead. And
yeah,
all that
definitely.
Good stuff,
Like I said,
we appreciate you kind of people, man.
If you want to shoot me some details on the different things you're doing, like you have my contact stuff, I'll get the word out there.
Yeah, like send you do the press release thing.
Yeah.
We're doing,
so I've got I'll just have to pull it up here. Let's see here. So over here, like on the Facebook page, is where I run the Facebook stuff from the website.
You prefer Rod, then?
Rod. I mean, my mom named me Rodney, so I got to use that too. But yeah, Rod.
Okay.
Rodney.
Okay.
But I'll have like stuff here that'll pull up. Let me see. So here's like some of the stuff where I'll launch on the Facebook page once it pulls up here.
Look, you look like a rock star in that picture, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, that was
you got the stunner shades on.
That was about 25 pounds less.
The lighting on the one side, kind of shadow on the other. Man, that's a cool pic, dude.
This is like the burger I had last night over at Renaissance. Oh, that shit was good.
You got to do the over easy egg.
Yeah.
That's sunny side.
Yeah.
They got to do the easy egg on top of it, man.
So I have that there with the Facebook page, so I can definitely drop some stuff out there, and I'll usually post a lot of the videos and everything out here for the different things. But then the blog itself will be here. And then you mentioned the marketing thing. Like I'm working with one of the breweries in Northern Kentucky right now to help them get their marketing and stuff going. But then I have like the blog, and I'll post different things out here as well. The different blog stuff and everything that I'm trying. Cellar Dweller, they're one of the breweries down south in Aurora, Ohio. Take that one of their beers and kind of post different things on here as well for the different things happening. So I'll get this all launched up there and put a link and all that stuff in there. So anything I can do to help you.
Is Cellar Rats down in Cincinnati?
Cellar Dweller.
Cellar Dweller?
Right at Valley Vineyards. Valley Vineyards, which is a wine, they run Cellar Dweller, which is their brewing operation. Okay. They're in Morrow, Ohio.
Have you heard of Cellar Rats at all?
Not yet, I haven't, no.
I wonder if they went under.
But speaking of the different breweries, this is like the list of the breweries we have here. So see. Look here, Cincinnati.
And you guys got a rad skyline. You got a real metropolis
That's
down.
why everybody comes to Kentucky to shoot the skyline in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, you mean they're all on the other side?
Yeah, they're all over Kentucky.
It's got
Cincinnati.
because you're kind of down a little bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of like up. Yeah.
But you look at all these different breweries that we have in Cincinnati area.
Listerman in triple digit is the same thing.
Yeah, same brewery, same area.
Jeez, dude, I heard a lot of these breweries.
Yeah, and so as you go down, you got more and more. Some are still just opening, but they're.
No, Mount Carmel's the one that was like in somebody's house originally, or in the basement.
Was it? I didn't know. It might have been. I just had them from where they were now.
Yeah.
They do some decent beers. You know, Mash Cult, they're out of another town. They're out of Florence, Kentucky, out of what we call, it's store called Party Town, kind of like Party Source, but they couldn't use, Party Towns. They're kind of their name off of it. The Braxton Labs is the one that's out of Party Source there. Of course, we got like Fig Leaf and Sam.
I thought Hootie got bought out by Moreland.
They're redoing it. They're redoing Hootie down there now. Hootie's reopening some of their beer stuff. So I don't think it's
I thought Christian Moreland's owner bought the brand rights to it. So he was just contracting.
Maybe
was he just
might have been
contracting
them? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're doing some different stuff down there now.
Okay.
As well. Some of these are so.
Yeah, I haven't been to that New Orleans facility.
I haven't been there either. There's so many, I can't get to them all. There's just so many down there.
It's
literally.
like a multi-million-dollar project, right? State of the art sort of thing.
It's supposed to be really nice.
Yeah.
I just talked to the owner of Fretboard Brewing, who I met at the last beer festival, and he asked me to come out and check his out too. So we're working on coming out to check out his location. But there's just so many happening down there right now.
Banana hammock.
Yeah, that's one that's coming soon, so that'll be interesting. But
banana hammock. Happy to Brewing, Little Miami. Wow, dude, you're not short of places to stop by, are you?
I've got to add probably 10 more to this list that I've started since then. So it's just all jumping off like crazy right now in Cincinnati on some of the brewery type stuff.
That's madness, dude. You got 60 plus freaking breweries in the area.
Yeah. It's
within a 45-minute drive of
easily,
Cincinnati proper.
Easily, yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Like, you don't run short of beer at all. We go to our gas stations. Like, one of the best places to buy beer I found out, like off of 71, this BP that sits in Mason, and it's like you go inside the gas station to pay or get anything to drink. It's like all craft beer everywhere. Like stuff you haven't seen before. Yeah. It's like at a BP.
Yeah, that's
it's like you're not even in a bottle shop. You're at a BP.
So accessible.
Yeah.
It's so accessible.
Everywhere.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But that's just so much beer that we got coming through the area now. So.
Dude.
You get down this way, let me know too, and I can get.
Oh no, next every once in a while I get down there to DJ. So,
let me know.
I'll let you know, and we'll have to link up, and you can.
Yeah, they
still have?
They just opened their location. I haven't been over there yet, but they got a little bit of a rave about them. They're in Northern Kentucky as well.
Do they still have that one chain? What's the? There's a chain.
Rock Bottom?
Rock Bottom.
Yeah, Rock Bottom's still down there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they've done some pretty good beers too.
Yeah. I mean, who cared? Every Rock Bottom I've ever been to, they always got salad beers, man.
Yeah, Rock Bottom's done some stuff. They've actually did one year. They did a really good barley wine for the beer fest. That was really good too. Yeah, so just tons of beer. I mean, depending on what you're looking to do, what you're looking to gather, we have tons of it down there. But yeah, so I'll put the video like on the Facebook stuff too, and share that stuff all out. And
excellent.
I get on Twitter.
You sound like you seem to be having a lot of fun with this stuff, huh?
Oh, I have a blast with it. I mean, it was kind of funny because initially I was kind of like, do I want to do something like that or anything? And it was my wife that like, do you think I'll make a YouTube channel and do this kind of stuff? And it was like, why? Like, nobody wants to hear about beer. And then, like,
yes, they do.
She's like, yeah, and that's what she told me. And like, I went and started doing this stuff, and then people started growing and watching and joining, and YouTube and Twitter. So I love sharing. Like, all people watching now, I love sharing the experience with you and sharing its details. And then we go to place. Like, I go on Twitter and I've got like 2,500 plus followers. And it's like, I've got more followers than some of the brewers. You got more than
21, man. It says
like
25.
Yeah, I got more followers than some of the breweries down there.
That's crazy.
And it's like, I enjoy doing it. I think you do it, and you do it with a purpose, and people want to hear the story. And like I said, my whole thing is about sharing beer, making it, also trying to make it fun, and that's all I'm trying to do. So.
Right. You know, and people can sense that you're genuine about it.
Yeah.
That's probably has a lot to do with your following as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not like trying to force this through. You know, you can tell it's definitely genuine. So.
Which I always appreciate, because I've had people say that they feel that, like, they've watched some people on some of the YouTube channels and they feel as though they might be, those they were faking it, but they're kind of more into doing something, maybe because somebody sent them something or they did something, but they kind of feel it. I mean, you got to be true to yourself.
Yeah, and then you get these ones that seem like they're like ultra scripted and almost rehearsed sort of things. Like, it's just real stuffy. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So it's all about having a good time. Hello.
Hello. When you hit 5 seconds, will you please talk to this gentleman over here? He wants to talk to you about
Okay, I'll tell them the same thing.
What did Craig send him?
Hey, man, that was fast.
I think you gonna make a stop here real quick. Yeah. But thanks for everything.
Rod, appreciate you, buddy.
It. Yeah. I'm gonna check out this pizza and get some food in my belly to follow this beer. But it's been great. So
excellent.
Definitely.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Clint. I appreciate it.
thanks for
let me know
coming
what I can do and everything.
Share with you.
All right. Thanks, Clint.
Appreciate you.
All
Man.
right.
Take care.
All right, guys. Hey, what's happening, Martin? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And I'm actually going to go here because I'm about to eat a barbecue chicken pizza. And you guys don't want to see me eating pizza on here, so I'm going to go ahead and eat that. And maybe I'll sign in later. If I get to another brewery, I'll update you guys on that as well. Definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in today and was able to ask Clint questions and find out some of the stuff on the brewery. And it's a good day. So it's a good Friday, and I will look forward to catching you guys next time. This weekend, I do plan to try to attend Oktoberfest here in Cincinnati when I'm back down there and get some video for that too. So I may go live or I may just shoot video, but either way, keep an eye out for that. I look forward to catching you guys next time. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers.